toss no target in this game since he has a core that transitions, so he wants to
Because
again.
it's sort of risky as well, right? If Weehaw wants to blink high ground, make that commitment, he has to pop BKB first because he knows that instant hexes are going to come out.
Yes.
So then if he does that, he's committing a BKB charge, and that's the point where RNG themselves may see the chance to collapse back in on Liquid, knowing that Weehaw won't have that magic immunity.
Yeah. Weehaw. Throwing some trees at the supports. Alpha taking half his HP from that one.
Yeah, just look at this as well, because of this arc warden. He's got an active DD and a DD in a bowl. There's just DDs for days on Weehaw. He is going to have a very high uptime on the chance of getting constant double damage runes.
You don't even have to back up and collect power runes. Don't have to back up and collect your bounties. You can just keep spawning them.
I mean, that's so 2018, you know. This is 2019. And Lyrical just giving them all the runes that they need. Not for long. We're only halfway through the year, Giannis. What's going to happen?
Ti's all that matters. More runes, another arcane rune. So Miracle, he's going to be able to spawn runes even more frequently.
He jumps in. He tried for the toss back, but this is the problem. Instant hexes are there. We are dead. That's the risk he plays when he jumps in without using the BKB. And
Miracle.
Now they'll move in for more. Look at the X on the backline. There's collapsing on the Miracle. Miracle's dead as well. Prime Eyes surrounding the double. They'll be able to follow some extra gold on top of those 2 core kills.
Ooh. Little bit of missed micro there from Miracle. He sent this double and he's actually stood still with his hero for a second. And RNG, they have that ward on the high ground there. They saw him standing still for a second. Setsu with no hesitation jumping forward.
I mean, that is a huge sigh of relief as well for RNG with Miracle dead. By the time he's back in the game, that whole duration of the buybacks being on cooldown is going to be pretty much over.
Yep, and they forced Weehaw to buy back and run all the way back to the fight.
That was, Weehaw trying to get in like that.
They're trying hard
about
to do
the risk. It's never going to work.
It's too risky.
Look, there's so much instant catch from RNG. That play is probably only going to work 5% of the time.
Yep.
If they've got their keyboards unplugged, I don't know.
They're prepared for it. They know it's coming. I mean, if we know it's coming, they know it's coming for sure. So they are prepared for it every single time with those quick hexes and quick fingers.
And there's no hesitation from RNG.
Mind Control will kill that DD rune up top with his illusion, and Roche is back up. So Refresher Shard and an Aghanims now. And there's a lot of fun things that can happen, right? We do have a Shadow Shaman in the game.
Ooh.
Shadow Shaman's level 25. Shadow Shaman has Nags. Give him this Refresher Shard. They're probably going to give it a sense.
I just want to see the triple sanities. I'm pretty sure you just need to steal the tiniest bit of a triple sanities.
But the triple wards
is going to kill people. Wow.
The wards. Give it to him. Did they give it to him? They did.
Yeah, but it's not going to be triple.
He's got the double.
He's got quite a bit of time for his own refresher.
He's got the other one queued up, but yeah. The potential is there for lots of fun things.
Wait, who got the axe? Oh, Setsu, right.
They end up giving it to Setsu. Yeah, he had it queued up. 67 minutes in.
And still no real way of telling which way this game's going to fall.
Nope, it's just so much up to who gets the jumps and who executes the fights better. Throw the late game predictions out the window.
I think overall, RNG, they're probably kicking themselves a little bit more. When we sort of look back to that dive up top, definitely a stage of the game where I think RNG could have really got themselves ahead. That mistake did cost them, sort of brought the game to this point where Liquid, they've kept it all even. They've forced back. The pressure has been on RNG. But now their buybacks are coming back available. Liquid, that whole 7 minutes, were unable to break into the high ground, make anything happen. They're going to try for a jump now onto the supports outside of the base, but the safety's there. Astral from Setsu keeps Lanham out of harm's way and away from the Tempest double. They'll turn. Easy money for RNG. It's a 2K difference. Who's going to slip up? Who's going to make that mistake? That's what it all comes down to here on the main stage. The pressure is on for both of these teams, especially so in this game too for RNG. Down a game already in this best of 3 in the lower bracket.
I'm very hopeful for some crazy plays coming out. Some team fight happening, and then we see Lanem just backdoor the base or something with some Aghanim Serpent Wards.
I mean, that could happen.
There's the potential.
And we could also see Miracle backdoor in the base. You know, there's rap potential on both halves. And especially so if Weehaw gets in as well, he can make short work of the towers too.
Monet. Well, just pop that Titanic. They won't kill the Tempest double in time. Double Sanity's ready.
So Monet He's got the money. Is he? I guess at this point he's definitely buying the moonshot for himself. No one else really needs it. Setsu's already got one. And not going to be giving one to the supports.
Yep, you'd imagine so. Hey, I mean, a Bane with a moonshard, though. Come on.
Okay, yeah, sure. Right-click Bane, I remember.
It's crazy how the Bane has the 40% XP gain talent, and he's still not 25. Poor Apu. Just getting punished. 14, 0, 14, and 14.
What are you taking at 25 on a Bane anyway nowadays?
I mean, the Fiend Script duration could definitely just change the tides of the fight if you're able to get this situation. I don't think he's really going to get brain saps off anyway, so might as well go for the big play, right?
See what they can do here. The fight's going to begin. The highlights is in the trees as well. It's just destroyed.
Mone's dead.
Monet is dead. Immediately, Lennon will drop the ones, but he's gone. The Linkers pop. That will allow them to control Setsu with the Yules. Setsu's not messing around. BKB and a blink out as he has to get out of there. They lose two heroes immediately. RNG to the volley of trees from Wii. They cannot push into this Tiny very easily at all.
He killed them just in no time.
With one spell.
He clicked one button.
He gave them the... What button is it? I won't say that. Tree front, tree volley.
Tree volley.
It hurts. It really does. It really does. And as we're saying, he has consistent double damage runes.
Every single time he will have a DD in the fight.
Thanks to the Aghanim's Arc Warden.
What do you even... Try to find a solution. I mean, they just have to try to catch him, but... Weehaw just gonna now sit in the back for the most part for the next like 2 minutes or so, unless he's trying to actually commit forward here on the flyby. Double crit. They will be able to clean up that double. The range racks looks like the catapults will bring it down this time, but it's a 70-minute range racks. They're pinging. The Arcane Rune is prepared. Miracle's gonna probably pick that one up, set up more Spark Rates, and they're trying to go for the racks here.
They don't want to buy back on Monet. They want to try and hold the best they can without having to use it. And maybe Liquid can poke it out. Setsu forces out the BKB from Miracle. Slide away for now.
Flyby. The Spark Rates. Okay, he's got the Aegis still. He's really starting to eat quite a lot of those there, as he doesn't seem to really care.
Just soaking them up.
But now, is it enough to bring him down? They're gonna pop the Aegis.
Just time and attention drawn away from the melee reaction, from the fact that Monet's still dead. And Monet will be back up. They don't have to use his buyback. They keep it safe. Miracle
is committing for it. They're actually gonna pop the glyph to protect it.
That's another barrier. Crossed by Liquid, bit by bit. Breaking down the defenses of RNG as Liquid will reform back outside of the base. They know that they're going to have the full 5-man back in the game, RNG. Ready for the hold.
It's crazy when you just spawn your own Arcane Rune and then you just can spawn more runes faster and set up like these ridiculous constant Spark Race, 1.2 second cooldowns. It's just insane how much control they have inside of the fight in these areas. The supports just walking into this is brutal.
And it's just awesome to see, at this stage, this deep into the competition, we're just seeing new ways of play.
Yeah.
New heights of the game.
AA Blast. Not going to connect onto Monet there. Still dropping low to those sparks, though.
RNG get themselves out and over. Setsu find himself an Arcane Rune. Wouldn't be too shabby with the old Sanities and Refresher Orbs. Those big cooldowns getting taken down a little bit.
30 seconds until Weehaw has
the trees. BKB's popping the trees. The trees, they're hot. Monet. Every single time, whoever gets caught in that volley has to immediately escape. There now, and Threader maybe even losing Flyby. Astral will be able to try and save the trees again. This damage done by Weehaw.
They want more.
It's just 1,200 hits every single time. Setsu is going to jump. They've got the Hex control under mind control, but he's forced down to low ground. The BKB's being used by Setsu. The juke out the tree volley. Monet and Setsu looking for the wraparound. BKB is unavailable for Setsu, though. He has to be very cautious about how he commits. Flyby buying back.
They know this vision on this high ground. Liquid already starting to ping it out. They've got the jam available too. They will be able to clear those. 400 gold for an Opt Ward for Kuroki. Top though, look at Lanem. He's feeling sneaky.
I mean, that's very pushed in this top lane.
They've got Miracle already TPing back though.
Backdoor protection will be down a little bit. We'll see how if
They're
that
trying to
is
get
long
forward.
for them to get in.
The volley.
Oh, Abu! There is just no hope for anyone held underneath that damage, and at the same time, Jarrett saved for now by the Astral Setsu. Trying to get him out of there. They'll turn towards mind control. The BKB down from Money, commits onwards towards Kuroki, chasing down the AA. Glimmer Cave keeps Kuro safe. Back over towards the bigger focus. Shackles are attempted. Astral's going to be down. They've lost Lanham. He's dead for 2 minutes. Flyby sitting back, offering up the impetus, and they'll kill off mind control. GH tries to jump forward. Setsu's back in with the BKB. They'll kill off the Tempest double. It's mind control bites back.
Oh my god, the tree volley. Setsu. 2 crits. And another crit.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad.
The frequency of crits because of these data line.
It's it seems like he's hitting a crit on every tree.
Pretty much, it does seem to be. My god. So hard to
how do you fight this? How do you stop the Ti9 from sitting at the same? Are you just hoping they're going to run out of trees soon?
They're starting to. There's not that many left in that area, but Liquid will finally perch up and get the first set of racks of the game at 75 minutes in.
We're going to start seeing what Kuro bringing out the GG branches and planting them around Weeha.
That would be fun. I think this might be the most current gold I've ever seen. 18,000 on Miracle.
Whoa. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
He did do well at
They got control. Monet, getting brought down.
He's got buyback. He's got buyback. He's going to be Setsu committing on the back lines. Burrow strikes out from Micro. He's revving up the epicenter. He's on top of Setsu, but Weeha's dead. They've managed to eliminate the threat of the Ti9. Triple buybacks from Liquid. They want to keep the pressure on. Telekinesis dragging back the OD. They've got through the Linkers. They've got through his life. Setsu is gone. 5 versus 3. Liquid pushing in. No support buybacks available from RNG. And do they have the cooldowns? What are we seeing? Refresher is available for Setsu. He can come in with another Eclipse. But it's the mid towers slowly being sieged by Liquid. As the first tier 4 will fall.
There's no trees in this area. That's the one thing that Liquid does not have right now.
That's Weeha's one weakness.
Yep.
He needs the trees.
A Miracle bringing down the tier 4s. The second one down to 600.
Honestly,
they look happy with that. They're backing up.
I know I joke, but maybe you do want to bring some GG brushes over. Just doing a little bit for the environment, planting those trees.
Just who? They don't even have room for it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's I guess it's a little awkward with the inventories if you start placing down trees in the enemy's base.
We see Miracle is really starting to get pressured, though, by Flyby inside of these fights. He's starting to not pay attention to his hero, and he's just getting impetus down, but they still do have great control, as the rest of them are still dealing so much damage and control versus RNG. Setsu really trying to hold on to double sanities. You see him, he's holding on to his BKB and his refresher so often in these.
Whoa.
And Roche, it's going to be the one-shot.
It's not going to be a one-shot, surely. Yeah, it won't be, not at this stage. Roche is surely too strong. He's got a lot of raves down. I mean, how much? Maybe I'd say 50%, 40%. Hang on, RNG! They're in. Mind Control's going to try and come back in with a Bo3 got a fly by the X out. Setsu drops the first sanity. They've got the lockdown. Astral's going to be there. They'll move in Monet with a BKB up towards the high ground. They've looked for the kill with that Hex out. They should be able to get him. Setsu continue to rack up the end. He'll keep himself safe. Kill Miracle. He has no buyback, dead for 2 minutes.
But Setsu's isolated.
And RNG have lost everything for getting Miracle. Once again, it's cost them 5 lives.
And that's got to be it now at this point.
They don't have Miracle, they don't have Mind Control, but the last 3 of them, there's got to be a little bit of pushing power in the...
Draw the line down
for them. They're going to go straight up the top.
He's ready.
Looking to end the game with Weeha, Kuro, and GH alive. They'll go straight on towards the tier 4s. Deso's picked up by GH. GG. It's scored. Liquid take game 2 at 78 minutes in. Taking the series 2-0, knocking RNG out of the competition, and Liquid, they'll continue to just look stronger and stronger as they make this road through the lower bracket. They're moving on, Fog.
And holy crap, Weeha, right? In this game, sure, you see he's getting overshadowed by everybody else. You know, Miracle with this ridiculous Arc Warden farm, but Weeha, these tree volleys, time and time again, just bringing down Monet. Monet just got shredded in every single fight.
Without that tree volley.
Let's see the damage numbers. Let's have some fun right here.
There was definitely potential for RNG in those fights, but they just could not withstand this output of damage that Weeha was able to get him from a distance. So he got 72,000 hero damage done by Weehar. And of course, Miracle with those spark rates that all added up throughout the game. I believe probably the second highest amount of hero damage we've seen so far this Ti9, 126,000 hero damage done.
And look at damage received, because these are also sometimes that are crazy. 240,000 damage received by Miracle in this game. Some crazy numbers coming out. 900 last hits. Probably some, records being broken all over the place. We'll have the Haas or somebody tell us about those. But what a game. Both teams fighting it back and forth. Looked like anybody could have taken it, but Liquid overall, a bit more perseverance and a bit more control inside of those fights.
Crazy game 2 here on the main stage. But Liquid, they come out on top, taking the series 2-0. They'll win and move on, and we'll see if they're one of some of the belief of the panelers. Liquid, are they back on form?
Well, they are back on form, at least in the sense of the international, because they move on and they guarantee themselves another top 6 finish at TI. Unfortunately, that is it from RNG. They've done pretty well, it has to be said. We'll wrap up on them with our panel members right now and talk about what an incredible last game. I mean, 78 minutes, second longest at Ti9, third highest damage ever at a TI, by the way, on a single player, 126,000. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it really was.
Because sometimes you go along and you kind of, come on, get on with it. One of you's going to win. You know one of you can't win and one can. This one could have gone either way the whole way through.
Yeah, it was a very back-and-forth matchup. GH on the Rubik stealing the saves because they didn't have that many saves on Radiant, so he had to be the one who had to do it. And how are you ever going to push high ground into a tiny Ags and the Arc Warden, right? And we saw it. They just finally got into the base, and what could you do at that point?
Lacoste, are you a believer now?
Definitely. One of the European teams are taking this one home. Incredible late game Dota. I don't think Dota was ever in the history this entertaining. Once you get to those Aghanim Scepter upgrades, the runes, level 25 talents, it's just beautiful to watch. Anything can happen.
You go back 4 or 5 years, late game Dota was about like playing safe, not going on the map, but now it's like you have to contest Roshan. It's got Ags, it's got Refresher. You have to contest these runes. DD, Arcane Runes late game will win you the game. And as a result, it's so action-packed. It's crazy.
If you don't have the runes, you buy Aghanim Scepter, you spawn the runes.
You make your own. You make your own. I'm going to get more reaction from all 3 panelists in just a moment, but let's head over to Casey right now, who's with Mind Control after a wonderful victory.
Mind Control, how you doing?
Very good.
You need to take a few breaths?
Yeah, it was a very intense game.
Very long game, and I want to take us back to, I think it was right before minute 40, and you just kind of, I think, opened the game. You wide open. You go in there, you take a guess, you save a couple of your guys. How do you, you look like, okay, deep breaths all together. You're taking risks when you're playing at a high level just a couple of games away from exiting TI. How are you able to play with that level of confidence?
I mean, we had a talk, win or lose, just do it together. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. We just have to play good Dota, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to outplay them. And we just don't have that much pressure when we think that even if we lose, it's okay. There's no pressure anymore.
Does that make late game a little bit easier since you've taken that pressure off of yourselves once it's been going that long, back and forth?
Not really, because late game is really random and you don't really know what's going on, so you have to just do something. But Arc Warden is the hero that makes you feel good in late game, so he definitely helped us a lot.
You didn't do as well in group stage as I'm sure you were hoping to, and yet since taking main stage, you have won every single game. Every single game that you have played at Ti9 main stage, you have won. Did you have a big discussion about how you were going to kind of refocus coming into main stage? What's changed?
I mean, honestly, the biggest difference is that we actually started playing good. We actually woke up. I don't know what happened. I mean, for me personally, after the opening ceremony, I just woke up. I just saw those videos on the big TV, and I woke up.
Yeah.
And I think my team also woke up, and it feels really good. That's what I feel about it.
What do you want to say about the fans here? Because, we're playing TI in China for the first time, and fans from all over the world are here and obviously showing a lot of respect to Team Liquid too.
Thank you very much for supporting us. Even during the games, we can very quietly hear you, because their headset is blocking it, but we still hear you, and thank you very much for just enjoying the games too. And it's amazing. I love it.
Well, it's amazing for all of us to get to watch all these teams play such amazing Dota. So thank you for that. And what are you going to do to wind down now?
We just need to, I don't know. I'll see what I'm going to do. We still have to prepare for our next opponent. I think it's EG, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so we have to play EG after the next series. It's going to be hard. we'll see what we're gonna do.
Deep breaths. Great stuff. I know that was a long game. Second longest, Paul was saying, here at Ti9. So congratulations. Way to go. And we will chat with you sometime soon, I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Casey, and thanks to Mind Control as well. Get his breath back now as he takes a break, and they're going to need a break. EG next.
And they haven't got a long break.
No.
That's today.
Yeah, it's the last series of the day, so yeah, got to get that. Let's recap on RNG. Lacoste, they've done better than expected?
For sure, even though coming into this tournament, I think everyone talked about how they won every pretty much single scrim that they played, and they were a really tough opponent. I think no one expected them to go this far before the TI started.
Do you think they would have gone out even earlier than this? That was the expectation?
Yes.
Yeah?
I was expecting somewhere in the middle, but they did way better than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the minors, they got last place at Star Ladder Minor and then Dota Pit in a row. Last place at a minor, and then you show up here and get top 8. It's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, fantastic players on this team, of course, and plenty, I'm sure, to hear about from the players, and that's what we're going to do right now with Shiva.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. Monet, I know you were very open in your interview with Casey about how you guys have had a tough year. And in the month before TI, I know you've also gained tremendous respect from all the teams here. They respect you guys so much for the improvements and the improvements you've had before TI and coming into this. And I want to know from you, how did you experience this international?
莫内你好，问的就是说你在当时跟 Casey 的采访当中，你也提到了说你们这一整年是非常坎坷的，然后就想问，现在你们这么努力的打到了前8，就是想问一下你们对这场比赛的感受是什么？
其实我们的预期是不是一轮游嘛，然后打到前8，虽说是预期够了，但被淘汰还是心里不好受的。
He says that our initial goal was just not to get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, and by that margin, they have achieved their goal. However, even though they reached top 8, being eliminated is still not a good feeling, and right now they are kind of a little regretful.
Regretful is never good. I feel personally that you can be proud of your achievement, but I'm sure that hopefully will come for you later on. I want to talk a little bit about 2 years ago, because 2 years ago with LFY, you made it to 3rd place at the International. And I was curious as to how that run at that TI impacted your run this time around.
后面就想问，当年就是 TI 7的时候，你们在老肥羊战队里面不是打进了前3嘛？然后那时候的成绩对你们这次来到这场比赛之后有没有什么影响？
这已经过去2年了，其实队伍的人员配置以及心态都是不一样的。我们当时其实那年，算了，不说之前了，就是挺难受的吧。
He says there's not much impact involved because it's not really relevant anymore. What happened in the past is water under the bridge, and even though and he doesn't really want to talk about the past, he just says that being able to come here with this team is a totally different team with a different mentality and mindset. So everything has been different so far.
All right, I would like some final words from Monet that he can say to all the fans at home.
然后最后就是有没有一些支持给你的粉丝和朋友呢？
真的非常感谢我的朋友们和我的粉丝们，就我们这么菜还要一直支持我们，就非常感谢，非常感谢。
加油加油加油！
So he says that he has heartfelt gratitude towards all his fans and friends that's come to this tournament to watch him, and he feels really thankful that they are all here to support him despite his team being this terrible, himself included.
You know, that was not a terrible performance. That was an amazing series to watch. Well played. I know we'll see you again in another TI. We are going to go back to the panel.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, absolutely right. We will see Monet again. He's a fantastic player. and he will be back at the International in the future, I'm sure. GodZ, let's just wrap up on this series. It's been a great series, despite the fact that someone will come in and look at the score and go 2-0. Yeah, kind of expected it. It was a really good series.
Yeah, it wasn't just business as usual for Liquid. RNG put up a hell of a fight. There are a lot of young, talented players, a lot to be proud of. We'll be seeing most of these guys, if not all of them, at future TIs.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, gents. We're going to move on. And, of course, another series is almost upon us. Before we get there, though, there are two men here who you may know have the only two men that have ever played at all 9 TIs. And both of them are also champions. They're also both still in the hunt for a second Aegis. They caught up with Casey to describe what it was like being the only 2 players in history to play at all 9 and what their mutual respect was between the two of them.
And then there were 2. They're the only 2 people here who have been to every single TI.
I mean, I think it's really cool that it's us two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely a big thing to us. There's no way it's not.
What do you remember about your first TI? Because both of your experiences couldn't be more different. You came in and lost all of the games.
Yeah, it was great.
You came in and won all of the games.
I just scrambled a team and Dota 2 came out and some of my teammates thought it's not a serious thing.
For us, it was just like a test. If we're actually the best team, we should be able to win this.
And when did you first meet? Do you remember?
We met first in 2008. Yeah, we played together the LAN tournament DreamHack.
And then I'm like the tallest man he's ever met or something, but he already knew that because I was in pictures.
It was like rocking like a good hairstyle.
You had long hair?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna look that up.
You were 16, I was 18.
16, yeah.
Oh my God.
Usually people with that hair say Led Zeppelin or something like that, you know? What? What's wrong with it?
No, nothing's wrong with it. I think it's
jaw-dropping.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, look at that scarf. What a terrible decision.
But yeah, to answer your question, that's when we first
met.
And we played, and we were like, hey, like we like each other, the way we play, or we're smart about the game. Let's make a team together, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a mutual respect, kind of right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. By TI3, you're both on Navi. What was it like to actually be there playing a TI on the same team?
I came with no expectations, personally, and we just did very well. I mean, we were so close to win.
Alliance were quite a dominant team, and their meta was like invincible during that time. There was no beating it. You would just have to copy it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They were the best. I mean, what Alliance did is, till today, it has an effect of how Dota changed. They just broke the game apart and reinvented the game in a lot of ways.
What made you decide to leave Navi together and form Secret?
You know, okay, we got like second place at TI3. We almost won it, but it wasn't a happy moment for us during the grand finals. There was a lot of conversation between players and stuff, and it was not nice.
Poppy and I are just extremely ambitious, I would say. And when we feel like it's not being followed up by our teammates, you know, we'll go forward. We're going to keep going forward in this game, and just came to that point.
So what do you think happened in TI5? You were heavily favored when you came in. I think you finished 7th. Didn't do so great. And then you decided not to play on the same team anymore.
I think there's a Dota part and the human part. I think Dota-wise, we were not prepared to win.
Team had weak chemistry, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
We were actually all the best players, I would say, individually.
Yeah. It was just a raw skill team.
Especially in that team where we all knew that we were all really good. Criticizing is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You're always bottling in, kind of like, all right, I can't say that or something. You just keep bottling until it explodes, and it did. Good for us.
I mean, good experience, you know, made us stronger.
Made us stronger.
And I mean, this is the thing we're giving to our new teammates. This is why Poppy can lead like one of the best teams in the world.
Right.
He's teaching them like how to deal with problems and all the things we failed in TI5, maybe even TI4 or whatever. We learned, and we're good at conveying this message.
So were you guys always friends, or did that kind of start a little bit of strife between you guys, or did you leave on good terms?
Not good terms, I would say.
No.
I'm sure that was my toughest time of all in like my career. To look back we needed to part ways.
Yeah, I think we're both happy where we're at nowadays.
Yeah.
And we already talked a lot about our problems, whatever. It's just like, I don't know, like it's life. It's, we spend so much time together in this game. This game is intense, a very intense game. Emotions go very high. It's not just friendship, it's friendship and business.
How did you become friends again?
After time.
Are we friends?
We just go to yeah. Cut the camera. Take that.
Happy to be here.
Me too.
And it's cool that we're doing this.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Folks, we got to heard a few words just there from the mastermind, Puppy himself, but we need to look up the other faces that make up his team. Let's take a look at the entire squad that makes up Team Secret. This is an elimination series that is really going to put Secret to the test. They're going up against a squad that has been firing on all cylinders, already creating upsets. You know, when we looked at Secret in their last matchup, they didn't necessarily seem happy with the way that they were able to get the win. Yes, they've made it this far at TI, but this is a team that expects absolute dominance. Is that going to be the flavor of this series? Will they show the potential that they truly have? Or will we see Infamous able to keep impressing us up on the main stage? Let's take a look at all of the faces on that roster before they take the stage. Been a favorite heading into TI, but Infamous has quickly become a crowd favorite here in Shanghai, already creating history for TI, the best placing that the entire South American region has ever gotten at this tournament. The question is, just how far will they go? Will they be able to set that bar higher and higher? Even heard Dendi on the panel saying Infamous, they might be taking the whole thing. And Nahaz, I really do want to start to think about some of the things that do embody why this team is doing so well. And I think part of it's going to be their pacing.
Absolutely. Infamous, I was so shocked by these numbers as we take a look at some of their early game stats. They have arguably the best laning phase in the tournament. When you look at their players' averages at the 12-minute mark, Whisper 2.1 kills at 12 minutes. That's tied for third with maybe behind Thompson and Sumail. Schofield 4.7 assists. That's number one by a mile. Second place is 3.5. And then Chris Luck is number one in CS at that mark. This team, we've talked so much about Hector and how his farming has been so good. These guys have created all that space.
Yeah, Chris Luck totally slaps. I think that's a very important thing to bring up. And Kyle, I feel like you're the exact person to really highlight just how hard he goes.
Well, Rich, yeah, I think he's playing the more difficult role. Hector is getting a lot of love, but Wraith King with free farm at times. There are some of these games where, yeah, he's got incredible stats. His patterns are excellent, but he's playing PvE, something you would know well, Rich. And Chris Luck is playing mid-Slark. He's dragging 4 heroes to enemy jungle like 9 minutes, while winning his lane. I actually can't believe that that's accurate stat. You checked that, right?
Yes.
We trust Nahaz numbers. We stand Nahaz numbers.
It is rare that I am literally shocked when I check the stats, but those blew me away.
And we always know, too, Nahazi's not going to be creating universal declaratives here on the main stage at TI. But, Neil, I also want to talk about the matchup, right? Because for anybody who's just starting to tune in now in the later stages of TI, want to see who's going to be getting the king's share of the massive prize pool, what has Infamous gone up against? What has the upsets that they've actually been able to pull off? Are they feats large enough that you go, okay, yeah, maybe they can take Team Secret?
Well, I go even further back than just this tournament. Okay. Because lest we forget, the last time a South American team did this well at a Valve event was at the Kiev Major when SG Esports beat Team Secret.
Yes.
It was a different Team Secret, but it was one that was just as bulletproof as the roster that we see here today. It's this surprise factor of South American teams that even though you know the heroes that they're going to be picking, this is one of the least versatile teams that we've seen. They're just so damn good at doing what they do.
And the juxtaposition of expectations coming into this tournament is crazy. You've got a team pretty much universally in the bottom 2 by most people's projections. And then Secret, I think, was the first or second favorite.
Yeah, and I think you can actually take that a step further, too, because a lot of the times, I know when we're on a panel together, one of the biggest things that we like to talk about is, okay, why did this series shape up the way that it did? Was it a team playing incredibly well, or is it a team that's making mistakes? And I think when we look at these two squads, you see Infamous playing completely out of their minds in most of their series and outperforming teams. And we've seen Secret not even happy with the way that they've been able to win some of their series to even get here.
I think when you talk about Secret in this tournament, the storyline has to be the weight of expectations. When you look at the numbers going back since the inception of this team, they have been the most successful LAN franchise in Pro Dota, and it's, to me, not particularly close. Over 400 LAN wins since TI4. Over 100 this year. You look at the gap between them and the next most successful team. This is one of the most dominant seasons by a squad all time. But then when you look at those TI results, first and fourth for Evil Geniuses to go. Those are switched around. Sorry about that. Evil Geniuses actually had multiple top 3s. Liquid first and then fourth last year. Secret has had 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and that's it. And this, to me, the enduring image of the series yesterday, walking off stage, they're not happy.
Exactly, Kyle. It's like one of those things where, yes, they got the victory, but they don't like the way they got it. It's almost like if you auditioned for like a play and you wanted to be Captain Hook, you got the role of Smee, then all of a sudden Captain Hook gets food poisoning and you're the understudy, so now you're Captain Hook, but you know that you really only deserve to be Smee.
Yeah, true. I mean, something like that just went down last Thursday, actually. But Secret... God, man, you threw me for a loop. I don't even know where you're going with that. I got locked into my childhood all of a sudden.
I'm like thinking about alligators and alarm
memories coming up there.
I just remember the scene where the guy gets locked in the box. They throw spiders in. I had nightmares about that for years.
Well, I think if Secret isn't able to pull this off, they will also have nightmares for years. But the question is Infamous going to be able to fly? If you're at home right now, I need you to clap if you believe.
Jesus. Look. Common
Rich Campbell.
If you talk, I've been at these Dota events for like a couple of years now, right? And there's always discussions about TI. And I remember sitting at a bar. I think it was some event in Poland. It had ended. Dendi, Vlad, Havost, Kuro, Puppy, and I was just like, damn. Yeah. Someone, is this seat taken? Like, am I supposed to be here? It's cool. And they were talking about like TI and Legacy, the greatest team of all time. It was one of those cool conversations about the past. And the comment, everyone agreed that the thing about TI that's so weird is that it's really only, no one's playing their best Dota oftentimes. That seems weird because it's the championship, but a lot of times there's 2 or 3 teams playing about how they usually do, standard, solid Dota, and everyone else is playing worse.
I think one of the cool things that we keep hearing in the interview is teams trying to have this mentality that I think OG really flaunted last year. And everybody keeps going, oh, yeah, if we lose, we lose. And, oh, yeah, it's just another game of Dota. And they're like, yeah, we know that this isn't actually how we feel about this. Like, we know that that's not the truth. We're trying to trick ourselves into basically believing it.
I mean, the winners always ultimately feel like they deserve the win. OG last year, people kept saying, oh, fluke TI kind of thing. No one beat them, and it wasn't even fair. Wings, arguably the most memorable TI winning squad. Same situation like you were saying. Everyone else was kind of underperforming, and other people were just kind of playing consistent, but there was always one standout team.
Yeah, and it's something No tells, like that OG lives this. They embody this concept. It's the philosophy of belief. And it's scientific fact. If you believe you're going to achieve something, it's more likely to happen.
You gotta write that down.
You
believe.
Isn't that the secret or something? You're supposed to like put it on a picture board or something as you visualize it, and then it happens.
Kyle's self-help book is coming out this fall.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've got the title already. It's Please Take My Advice. I'm not using it.
Wow, that's actually.
I actually really like
Why'd
that.
you give that one away? What?
Wow.
Kyle, sometimes not wrong.
It has to have the underscores in between each.
You have any idea? He
Kyle underscore is underscore right.
This is all I hear backstage.
Underscore time.
Every time, Rich will just ask me a question and just wrong.
I'm so happy they let us do this panel. Anyway.
Me too. Yeah, Neil, we actually talked about the idea, like, if this panel was going to happen, who the third would be, and I think all of us wanted.
I'm sorry, dude, you lost. We did all want you.
I drew the short straw. What a surprise,
dude. Kyle, I seriously, every single country that we go to together, I am always going to make the same joke. Every single time.
Glad to hear it.
Every
have it any other way.
Every
you didn't really need to say that, Rich. We actually are.
Every opening panel with Kyle will be like, yeah, I'm actually learning the language here in this country. And then Kyle, what are you going to say?
I'm not going to say anything.
And then I'm going to be like, well, Kyle, the term that I learned this time is bizoi, Kyle. And you're going to say.
Use that one.
Yeah, I know. But like when we get to a different country, it'll be a different one.
Okay.
And then
you haven't prepared?
What?
You don't know it in any other languages?
We're in Shanghai right now. For anyone just tuning in, welcome. We are on day
4 of the main event.
Get work.
I looked for Alan. He's the stats guy. He's the numbers guy. He's the only one I trust there. But I also do want to ask you, Alan, because you're not only a mathematician and a high-powered calculator, you're also a historian in your own right. And I do want to kind of talk about what you think it takes to win TI for a team. Because do you think it is a squad that just comes out and just has a reckless abandon for what the meta is and plays their own game? Because I think when we even talk back to last year, there's this idea of a squad that they're doing something really well, and everybody keeps going, oh, in the next series, somebody's going to figure it out. Somebody's going to figure out their number, and nobody seemed to do that.
I think that answer is just, it's the best part about TI is that answer is different every year, that every team has to find their own way to cope with just the monumental pressure that they're put under. And a lot of times the answer is, look, we're going to find a way to just play Dota and not care.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm so concerned for Secret. When I saw Matt and Sunby backstage the other day after I just happened to walk upstairs right after they lost the upper bracket series. And these two guys were standing there, and there's nobody within 20 feet, and they're standing 15 feet apart from each other, and they're just silent. And I've never seen them like that all year long. They are under so much pressure this event.
And yeah, we've really talked about all of the things that we're potentially going to see, but now we actually get to jump into the draft. Let's see what the teams are going to bring and start this elimination matchup.
Infamous versus Team Secret. Game 1.
Infamous versus Team Secret, a matchup I don't think many people would have expected to see in the top 8.
No, definitely not. I mean, Team Secret, we expect to see them in top 8, but in the winners bracket, now you have Infamous, South American team, don't deserve their slot coming in, and here they are in a do-or-die matchup.
Yeah. Gunnar, you know a lot about the South American Dota players and seeing you play against them all the time in pubs. What is it that's made Infamous so scary, so strong here at TI?
They trust themselves like OG did last year. They are going to give Hector his comfortable carries. They're going to give Chris Luck his comfortable mids. They're playing around each other really well. They play a similar style, I think, most of the games. They kind of play this 4 protect 1, super hyper early game with their 4 heroes while Hector hits the jungle. Eventually, Hector's going to stop TP into his tri-camp, and then he'll show up to fight.
Yeah, it's even a little different than 4 protect 1. Right, because Hector is usually just on the opposite side of the map. So usually you think 4 protect 1 like they're sitting behind him, but he's just completely somewhere else on the map while Chris Lugg's running around. You're like, what the hell is this dude doing? We can't kill him. And it's insane because you do know what they're going to do, and teams still haven't stopped it yet.
What would you guys say like the weakness of Infamous is, or like how should teams be trying to approach this unique style that they're bringing to the table?
I think they have some really strong picks that they're really comfortable around, and it's kind of a little night and day if they don't get their comfort heroes. Like the Enchantress and the Wraith King are the two biggest ones, I think, for their team.
Yep. I mean, Whisper, right? People can say who invented Enchantress, whatnot, but Whisper was the one of the only people playing it in the qualifiers, and then it comes here, and all of a sudden, people said it wasn't strong in the first couple days of group stage, and then just main stage, like, oh my god, she's unkillable.
I was casting CS qualifiers and would tune into NAS at the end of the day, and we're like, what are these idiots banning Enchantress for? No one's touching that hero over in Europe. These guys don't know what they're doing.
And it's crazy, right? Because it's not a BKB piercing stun, but the damage, like Enchantress destroys through the BKB because of impetus.
Well, here we go. Early picks coming out. Infamous are going to get their hands on the first pick, Magnus. Some of those key heroes you mentioned, Enchantress and Wraith King, both banned out, Gunner.
Yeah. So this Magnus is going to kind of help their 4 Protect 1. It's going to let Hector farm a lot faster. He usually likes to go really greedy builds involving like Midas and Radiance on these like Lifestealers and Wraith Kings. These are his type of heroes, but this Magnus kind of opens them more up because now he doesn't need a hero that builds Radiance. He has a built-in Empower.
And I love they pick the Void. It pretty much says you can't pick Lifestealer here to me. Like you do that, you ban out the Wraith King, and if Lifestealer's there, I mean the Void just chronos you. Doesn't matter.
He doesn't look as good on the non-Midas Radiance character.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the scary thing about Team Secret is in the last series we just saw this Tiny just completely carry the second game.
Is Tree Volley the strongest spell in Dota right now?
It's definitely top 3. I have to think of other ones, but I mean, you saw you just get 4 crits in a row. Someone's dead.
I mean, it was also used by Secret yesterday against Manessi. It was just used in that last series. Late game, what do you do against it? It feels like on a 12-second cooldown, there's no response to Tree Volley.
The only issue with it is like the amount of trees you have around you. But in most situations late game, you win the fight with 1 or 2 Tree Volleys, and you don't care about more trees.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Shadow Shaman picked up second by Infamous. Not looking to jump into picking their carry just yet.
Do you know if Whisper plays Magnus?
Yeah, he plays it. I assume this actually is going to be the Whisper Magnus now that you have the Shadow Shaman. Because I feel like that's not the hero you want to play as 5, right? So
especially if it's a Tiny.
Yeah, more than likely going to be Schofield on that. And how do you feel about 3 compared to 4 Magnus? Like you say, you're in a game, you're playing with your team.
It kind of depends. I think Magnus, the main issue when people would switch from Magnus to 4 was the Magnus gives the enemy carry free lane. So you're kind of trading, your carry going to be farming really heavily past like 10, 15 minutes for their carry farming heavily the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that's when people started to reinvent the hero, I think. They would start going boots in the early game. They'd start trying to do these weird cliff skewers, around the boundary runes. This Magnus would walk behind them, skewering them on the cliff, and then people started to evolve that into this more tri-laney Magnus or this dual lane pulling creep. So.
And I like the Magnus because it's a lot like Tiny, right? If it is in the 4 position, you have that level 1 kill potential. Skew under tower, toss under tower is reasonably scary. And Mag, you're like, oh, he's just an Empower bot, but all it takes is 1 skewer and it's a first blood, and the lane completely changes.
Even in RP mid game, late game, just like a 1 or 2 man can change the game.
As far as the Shadow Shaman, likely the 4 position, I've always been playing the Earth Spirit Tusk. And if anything, that to me is like very signature part of Infamous's playstyle.
Yeah. They expect us to pick what we're comfortable with, and maybe they just set it. Like they have something ready.
They usually plays these more melee heroes that can comfortably go into a fight, saving his favorites. So this can pressure. So he's going to be able to.
You don't just get chronoed and die. You have that chance. You know, if you're quick fingers, you're out.
Goes with initiation, kind of force rotation out.
See first pick, first bang.
I know Chris Luck
like
also likes it too. It fits his style of hero. I think he likes these more melee heroes that can just go in and
this
dive
hero
towers
just
with
in the
7
late
bursts in the
game. Your ulti is
Okay,
so
that type of
strong.
hero.
They have a carry they're pairing with Magnus. It's also a way to purge off the Empower as well, which is really nice. So
is the BKs like they want to be mobile, and you just get purged even through BKB.
I mean, there's no scenario where Infamous is not.
Oh yeah, Hector and Magnus, if they do, like, oh, carry Mirana, what the hell?
They could pick something like an ad about getting purged. Obviously, you get sad because you lose the Empower and you lose your Flame Guard.
And you can dodge Chronos, right? You want a hero that has that chance, like Nisha jump chance. You know, if you're quick fingers, you're out.
Also likes it too. It fits his. Where's that type of hero?
Yeah, I'm looking at Silencer pick. This might be a switch up now because Whisper loves offlane silence. I think it's probably still the offlane Magnus, maybe, but Whisper in the offlane silencer.
Would he go like greedy items like Midas and drums and stuff?
Yeah, I think he did. He went Midas, drums, and as well, right? Glaives go through BKB. You have another ability that, with Ags, tons of damage.
The thing I like is like if you jump in and go for the kill, you take away that disruption save. Like if you jump the void, you have lockdown with Shadow Shaman with Mag RP. The issue is defensive disruption, and suddenly you can actually burst that frontline hero.
We're also going to support. I think after the last series, they might kind of want this on the mid time.
Get the farm early, get that Ags, and all. Yeah, 20 minutes in, you're doing 1K credit.
I think is received a flag is mid one. He's looked kind of rough this tournament, but he really stepped it up and played some good Dota. So
yeah, after that game, I think as they said, they didn't look super happy about their wins, but I think mid one after that game, he was kind of owning the whole game. Like he carried the first, stations. So I think, giving him that hero that he felt comfortable with out of the series.
Tiny mid doesn't have too many bad matchups either, would you say? Or what?
Like the ranged heroes are like the Linas and
okay. Well, playing OD versus the Void wouldn't be too bad of an idea as well, I feel.
Been first picked almost every time, and now you've got the easy setup with the Shadow again. You get disrupted, you never know where the arrows
into Chrono. Yapsor Mirana has been played a lot during this Ti9, so the Tiny Core, whether it's mid or offlane, that is flexible, I would say.
It could be.
That's true.
Yeah, EG yesterday, right? They had the Tiny that, and it was like S4 Tiny Sumail Mirana, which was odd, but I agree. I think you put this Mirana on 4.
Yeah. At the same time, though, you'd kind of want this Mirana to lane with the Shadow Demon if possible.
That's true.
Because you want to try to get these early game disruptions into arrows. They could even tri-lane it with the Void for the first level or two, and then he can rotate to the offlane to kind of protect him.
Yeah, because Void doesn't come back very easily, so I definitely think you want to bring him a good lane.
Especially since the other carries can have Empower. Yeah. So this Void who has no built-in, passive gold way to get gold, like he doesn't have Grievel's Greed, he has no cleave built in, Battle Fury is kind of bad on him. The best is the Maelstrom, but even then, he doesn't really farm that fast, so it's going to be a little scary if Infamous picks some, Jug or this hero that can farm really quickly.
That's got to be what they're looking for with one of these two picks.
Oh my, a PL.
So I watched Infamous play PL in the group stage. I think it was like the second PL game of the tournament. The first one, PL got completely crushed.
Yeah.
But in the Infamous PL game, Hector carried. The end of the game, like 10, 2, and 7. He completely free farmed. The reason they picked it in that game was for the Mirana. They lane the PL versus the Mirana Shadow Demon, and if he gets disrupted, he's able to doppelwalk out. And if his support gets disrupted, he doppelwalks and puts an illusion in front of the arrow to tank the arrow for him.
And it's nice, you talked about Ember, right? PL also, if the Void goes on you, you have a way to dodge the Chrono, which is always nice, because you're just going to die if you get Chronoed.
Or they don't even know which one's the real one.
Yeah.
And playing Void without BKB versus like Diffusal Manta, you very quickly lose your entire mana pool. So that's going to be a tough situation for Secret if you get any stuns or lockdown, burn through the Void's mana pool.
Yeah, and it's not even, right, you wanted a hero who's decent versus Shadow Demon, whether it's a 5, whether it's a 4, like, you don't want to be picking these Svens who just get kited the whole time, and PL does a lot better against that.
The issue is that if he ever gets an illusion, the Shadow Moon's going to also have a
that's
illusion
not
armor.
fun, exactly.
Yeah. He's going to be 10 FPS, 30 PL illusions, 15 on each side.
Help me.
I kind of want to ask, like, what are the last picks for Secret to do with PL? But they've also already got Tiny. Like, Tiny's a decent answer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The Void as well. If he gets late game, he is going to usually have the Maelstrom. If he really wants to be greedy, he can go the Battle Fury, which will help him scale a little more versus the PL. But late game, whenever he Chronos the real PL, it doesn't matter about the illusions. You just kill the real PL and the fight's over. So I'm going to look for, I think still the Ember is probably one of the top picks for Infamous right now. It kind of fits your playstyle. It works really well with the Magnus. But it does set up a couple Team Secret heroes.
Yeah. The last time
the OD, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was going to say the last time Infamous had the Magnus, they actually earned a Monkey King mid as well. That's something we could see for Chris Luck.
And that gives you a little bit more team fight, right? Like right now, I look at Team Secret, you have a Tiny and a Void, like you have the team fight. On the other side, you've got a Magnus, which is great, but you don't really see these Magnuses going in. He's more of a counter-initiate hero now. And I mean, this TI, it feels like you get 30-plus minutes, you want the better team fight nowadays.
I'd be a little scared of Monkey because he does have some hard lane matchups in the game. So if they pick it now, Team Secret, I think, still have the ability to flex. Yeah. This Tiny to a 3, the Bottom to a 4, Shadow to a 5, kind of run a tri-lane, help the Tiny a little, and then, they'll give mid one this favorable matchup. Yesterday, I think we talked a lot about giving mid one a favorable matchup, and they weren't really able to do it in the Mineski series. So his laning stage was, it was really hard for him, I think. But in this game, if he does get it...
Whoa! First Ricky of the tournament has just come out.
So back in the NA scene, before I left the TI, everyone started playing Ricky mid. Yeah. Everyone was saying it's the cool new thing. You have a lot of new HP regen.
You have 5 HP at level 1, right? Yeah.
So the hero, the backstab works on denies, so he kind of tries to get the maximum amount of CS. It's like the old Conka, where you'd be able to get every deny and every last hit. And it kind of owns these low armor range heroes. Like, I played Invoker versus it the other day, and I got completely destroyed.
Last pick Earthshaker, but yeah, it's really okay. So Ricky mid is what you're thinking.
It will be
Chris
a Ricky
Luck,
mid. Yes.
He's a Ricky mid player.
Yes.
Oh boy,
this is going to be some. And
the thing is,
it could be an Earthshaker middle as well, right? I think that actually deals very well with.
We don't know.
Did he?
Mid-1 did play it.
Oh man.
I'm excited.
We have got a last pick Ricky into Shaker. Ricky is definitely the talk of the scene right now. But before we get our draft, I want to hear what Purge has to say about these two drafts.
It's a very cool draft from Team Secret. What they did was in their first phase of bans, they banned out all of the comfort heroes for Infamous. And that's very effective to do against a team that isn't as normalized in the pro scene. They might be going for heroes that they feel comfortable with. So when you ban those out, it's going to put them on the back foot a little bit. And on the other side, Secret also got probably the most contested heroes in the patch right now, core-wise, with Tiny, who can abuse his Aghanim Scepter, and Void, who can Chronosphere to combo that extremely well. So you can use these two teamfight heroes and gank heroes to get tons of kills in the early mid-game. But on the other side, Infamous does have the benefits of having Mag RP. They've also got the PL, which is going to be effective against Samarana, another really, really strong laning hero that Secret got. So from my perspective, it seems like Secret got almost all of the best heroes in the current meta, according to this tournament so far. And on the other side, Infamous is going to do some typical wacky stuff, but with new heroes. So it's going to be an amazing match. Let's toss it over to the casters.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and Secret have been wearing the crown all year long. But here at the International, they have been put to the test. And here in the lower bracket, they're going to have to match up against every young team that wants to be able to build their legacy, cement their immortality by bringing down the king. First, it was Mineski, which Secret barely managed to eke out a win against, and now it's going to be Infamous, another underdog team that has probably built up even more steam than Mineski has.
Infamous is such a surprise, just because I think any betting man would have had them in the bottom 2, and that would have been one of the more comfortable bets that you would have made at TI. That would have been not a guarantee, but very near a guarantee. And the fact that they're top 8 and they're in a position to knock out Secret is incredible. And Secret, everyone is waiting to knock them off. You just have contender after contender coming after that crown. Even though OG are the defending champions, being the top of the DPC means you have the most attention on you.
Exactly. They're the ones who are favorited to be able to win this International, no matter what the results have said so far. And Secret did exactly what a lot of us talked about when facing up against Infamous. Why are teams giving them the Wraith King? Why are teams giving them this like Schofield Tiny stuff like this? Just stop letting that happen. Ban away their favorite heroes. In Infamous, they have the opportunity to be able to show that they are not just a one-hit wonder, that they have depth to them, and they have something up their sleeve, and that's going to be the mid lane Chris Luck Riki, a hero that has not been picked or banned yet in the International until now.
And you're talking about depth. If you can win a game with Riki on the main stage against Team Secret, we can definitely say that you've got depth to your team.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be something that Secret may not be totally familiar with.
Oh, did you see that, by the way? Schofield dropped all of his items in front of Puppy. If Puppy just levels Disruption there and he's quick enough, if he anticipated that Schofield was going to do that, Schofield would just be starting with nothing right now. He dropped his boots on the ground first in front of Puppy, trying to bait him out. And this is something that makes his team so cool and unique. How many players are willing to risk this much money, this much placement on stuff like that?
An early toss up in the top lane. Schofield heads into the range of the tower. Fortunately, Puppy with only Shadow Poison can't really stall up Schofield, so not going to have our first blood. But Secret are trying to get a certain set of lanes right now by swapping things around. Is it because they want the Mag versus Void matchup? They want that one-on-one?
I think so. It's a really good one-on-one for him. Plus, it's not easy for Mag to be in a position where you're dual laning against the Tiny plus the Shadow Demon. You're just going to get pure denied. Whereas one-on-one matchup, you're perfectly fine. Plus, top lane, I think, is going to win. I feel like they have a lot of harass potential, and they can easily secure Hector's farm in this game.
Our mid lane matchup is definitely going to be the most interesting first. Puppy, he's going to be fine.
And I've never seen, in professional Dota, I don't think I've seen Earthshaker versus Riki mid. I think this might be a first for me.
I'm pretty certain that Earthshaker is one of the few heroes that can really deal with the backstab damage. Comes to the Riki, the arrow comes out, and that is going to be your first blood on Stinger. They try and turn things around by killing Puppy, but now Schofield has overextended himself trying to trade off kills, and he's going to be slowly whittled away by Yapzor. As Schofield, the Shadow Shaman, it has a bit of a slower base movement speed. So the boots versus boots right now is going to be the favor of Yapzor, but doesn't really feel like chasing that
DD
far.
rune at top. Chris Luck is going to make his lane a little bit easier here. Mid one going to pop the cell. He is taking a decent amount of harassment. He's going to take a little bit more here. Mid one probably doesn't want to trade up against this Riki, who's going to deny so many of these creeps. This is why Riki mid has some potential.
So one of the big benefits of Riki Core, right, is that cloak and dagger, is the fact that you have this this agility damage multiplier that allows you to be able to do a lot more damage when it comes to getting CS, both the last hits as well as the denies, opening that a lot of CS open to you that normally wouldn't be. But in this situation, it's matched up against an Earthshaker who also has the same kind of ability.
Top lane, Hector getting low.
He's going to be chased into the trees. The arrow lands from Yapzor. That's going to be a second kill for Secret. Make it a third now, as they're going to be able to disrupt Stinger, perhaps, and bring him down. But Zai is actually a little bit too low. No mana. If anything, Puppy has to be careful. Schofield's really gunning for him right now. Ether Shock needed another swing or two to be able to finish him off, but they do at least bring down the carry of Infamous.
2-0 early kill lead. Right now, no team too far ahead, as Infamous and Secret are nearly identical when it comes to the net worth, despite that.
Oh, he tossed, but it was an illusion that he actually got, and as a result, he's going to be shackled up and finished off by Hector.
And that's -2.
Permanent loss. Try not to think about it too much, but it's always there.
And especially on a hero like Tiny, who already has a slow and small base in pool. Plus, you're not going to go for treads that much anymore. A lot of people have been opting for the phase boots on pretty much every strength core, which means you don't have that option of strength in switching on your treads. Regen rune picked up by the Magnus, still doing okay against the Void.
Whisper actually ran down to the bottom rune, and he was rewarded. He actually got a regen, so he refilled his bottle and had some regeneration. Some time lost in lane sucks, but it was honestly probably the best rune that he could get in that situation.
I think he may have made a miscalculation by going for 2 levels of the Shockwave, just because Void top.
Oh, they're going to be able to bring down Schofield. Now Stinger's in trouble. Yapzor leaping forward, and with the poison, Fairy Fire going up, but Stinger can't get to the trees fast enough. Yapzor gets the double kill.
And Yapzor is making this lane hell right now for Infamous. A lot of arrows, good movement overall. Mid lane, Chris Luck getting quite low, but
you could see it in the CS. This is not a 1v1 matchup that's Riki is really dumpstering, which I think they were hoping for. They're going to land another arrow. This time, Schofield is going to be the one to fall as Secret invade going for those bounty runes. Now, Zai's going to be a bit low, but Hector running out of man, now going to be disrupted as well. They just do not seem to be able to contest this tri-lane. And the other two solo lanes are going perfectly fine for Secret.
On top of that, Stinger was forced to pick up 2 of the sentry wards to try to help his Riki mid, but mid one's not buying any. He doesn't really care about this Invis Riki in his lane.
Every single time Chris Luck shows up, mid one just fights him because Earthshaker has those kind of good base stats. He's able to hit him every once in a while with the Aftershock. The Enchant Totem allows him to be able to contest for like range creeps that Chris Luck would usually be able to get the deny on against other 1v1 matchups.
And Schofield's made his way mid, but he's got to be careful too. Mid one is level 6. I'm gonna fight over this rune.
Try and jump a mid one. He does have his level 6. It's gonna be a little precarious for Infamous and the arrow as well. Oh, they do have the smoke screen, but that's enough to stop Schofield from falling. Not sure what Infamous really was planning out there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the end goal of that play is. Considering it's an Earthshaker, he's just stronger than you right now. Your Riki's not level 6.
And maybe the cracks are beginning to show. Infamous drafting some heroes that they hadn't played as much in the group stage and even the playoffs. And as a result, just look a little unpracticed with what to do.
Give them a little bit of leeway because this team catches up through farm real quick, Cap. Really, really quick. Plus they have a Magnus, one of the heroes that they're better with. Whisper's got a one-on-one solo lane, so he's gonna pick up levels pretty easily.
That is true. Like we've got 2 different agility cores that have pretty good agility stats, especially the Phantom Lancer, right? His agility gain is off the charts. That Empower is really going to start kicking in the mid game.
Yeah. And Earthshaker's good against you until a point. Then there are ways to work around it. It's really hard for him to know which the real PL is.
Toss up, Hector. Does have the Doppelganger. But the Avalanche is going to be able to hit all of them. Which one is the real one? They've sniffed it out, but they won't be able to get the kill. Bottom lane, Skewer in, RP being used, and they will be able to get the kill on Nisha. A sneaky rotation from Schofield. And finally, Infamous, they get an opening. They get a kill. That is not a trade.
And it's a kill on a core that's had solo XP, so this is going to boost up everybody that was a part of that. Nisha on his way to the Midas. Anytime you die, getting that close to Midas, it feels so bad, Cap.
Yeah.
It slows down your timing, your rhythm. It feels like you're being punished for your greed. I think he decided to go for it because most Voids do, but also it didn't feel like anybody was going to try to go for the gank on such a high-level Void. And he's got 2 levels of Time Walk. But with the Arcane Rune, he was willing to pop the RP there. Mid one's going to grab the Invis Rune. Might opt to start making some rotations around the map, as mid lane has been so free for him.
Hector. One of the biggest things that everybody's been praising him for, especially pro players, is his proficiency at farming. And most of the time it's been on that Wraith King or Lifestealer, but here it's on a Phantom Lancer, which could be the hardest carry of the 3. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Phantom Lancer. Why is that, Blitz? What caused this hero to fall from the meta?
I feel like he's just too slow. His teamfight potential really requires him to hit so many different item timings. There aren't a lot of carries nowadays where I feel like you have to wait for 3 different items before they feel viable at fighting.
Yeah.
And Phantom Lancer, part of the problem is you have carries like Ti9 that just get 1 item. You get an Echo Saber, you feel pretty good about fighting. Then his next item leads into the Aghanim Scepter, and you're even better. Whereas Phantom Lancer, you get a Diffusal, still not good at fighting. You need 1 more item, you get Manta, you're still squishy. You have to keep building upon your farm. And in this meta, it feels like everybody is so fast.
Yeah.
Even Faceless Void is considered a slower hero, but the one thing is you come with the best teamfight in the game in Chronosphere. It can always save your ass, regardless of what position you are. And I feel like heroes like Void, heroes like Wraith King are just good because it's easy for your team to play around. Everyone knows the kind of playstyle that you want to exhibit.
Whereas Phantom Lancer, his timings and how
it's so weird
to be in a team fight, it's a little different. There isn't those obvious team fight wins. There isn't those obvious timings. It's more about the other 4 of Infamous being able to basically win fights and provide openings for Hector to then clean up with his diffused blade, with all the chase down that Phantom Rush gives you. We're going to see a heavy rotation coming out from Secret for the 10-minute bounty runes. Infamous do the same on the other side of the map, but
By the way,
Isha does grab one of them. So
quick thing to notice is that one of the best ways to deal with Ricky, of course, is going to be the Force Staff. And as a core player, you don't love building it as one of your first items, but if you just take a look at YapzOr, because of the sheer amount of kills he's gotten, and he's got pretty good farm to go along with it, he almost has it in its entirety.
that's pretty crazy, especially since mid one is going straight for the Aghanim Scepter. You would think that the smoke screen is going to be a good counter to him, but he can rely on YapzOr to get him out of that silence. This will be a very effective core pickup. Whisper's going to make a rotation over here. He's empowering up Hector, but what else are we doing here? Trying to make a play to defend top. There's that Siege Wagon already dealing so much damage. Mid lane, they're going to go for it. Mid one, he's definitely in trouble here with the combo of the Shackles, Wards, and the ult coming out from Chris Luck.
He time walked into the smoke cloud, so wasn't able to instantly pop the chrono, which allows Chris Luck to reset. Get back into the fight. Puppey getting chased right now. You should know about this. What I really like about Secret is they place a sentry to go along with every one of their wards.
Yeah.
You saw that at the bottom lane. That's how Nisha knew that Chris Luck was coming. The downside of this, though, Cap, is it's going to really slow down everyone's farm. Puppey is used to being a slightly 3D or 5. You're not going to get away with it in this game where you're buying so many different sentries.
Chris Luck is just trying to find openings anywhere he can. The power, and he's going to try and go for YapzOr here, but double leaves gets in the way.
And they're smoked up right now on the side of Infamous. They want to make the rotation up the top lane, but the tower's already dead. If they could kill mid one, that'd probably be the biggest kill that they could go for, but he does have a haste rune, so they'd have to lock him down nearly perfectly. They're hoping he walks onto the high ground here. Maybe if he gets onto the low ground, Schofield's waiting. Whisper has the RP.
Gonna be able to open with the Hex. They have the follow-up Shackles. No need for RP here. They can hold that ultimate for Whisper. A big kill on mid one. As he just gets a bit sloppy. I was really concerned for Infamous there. It just seemed like they didn't know what they were doing around the map. 3-man smoke up where Chris Luck goes bottom. They lose the tower top, but being rewarded with a core kill makes this a little bit better for them.
Walking up hills with no vision is the easiest way to die. That is 10 times out of 10, you will get punished for that at this level. Infamous is definitely good enough to take advantage of that fact. Mid one just a little bit too cocky. But I'd like to see some sort of tower pressure right now from Secret, aside from that top lane.
Yeah.
Take this bottom one, rotate around to your Chronosphere. The downside of making that move, though, is that Nisha doesn't really have any items that can really fight yet. He has no damage dealing, so somebody else has to come, which is exactly why Zai's down here.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. They don't really have a clear tower pusher, right? It's like maybe Zai can throw some damage into the tower, and yet Secret still managed to take one tier 1, and they've done a fair amount of chip damage in that mid lane as well. Nisha was really trying to push that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tiny's pretty good, but I feel like Secret's philosophy throughout the year is you don't have to have these tower pushers. As long as you can just kill them enough and get map control, it's okay.
Yeah.
Towers will naturally fall because the best way and the easiest way to clear towers is if you can skip the wave and put all the creeps onto it. Puppey top.
Does manage to get off the disruption. That should be enough for Puppey to get away. Chris Luck. It just really shows. When Ariki is trying to move around the map, trying to get these kills without his diffusal blade, without any sort of slow, the smoke screen just isn't good enough. Stinger is going to be caught here as he tried to just collect a little bit of the golden experience flowing in on the tower push.
Yeah, we talked about this bottom tower push. This is exactly what they needed to do. Even if you don't have the easiest ways to set that up, Whisper mid lane, gonna go on a mid one. The wards have been dropped too. Shackles to follow up. Chris Luck with the blink strike, and that'll nab a kill for them. Unfortunately, without the wards, won't be able to put any pressure, and Whisper is in fact stuck and has no way to get out. He doesn't have a TP, no phase boots, and he's just gonna have to hold this position. They should TP and kill him here, Cap.
Yeah, 25 seconds. A skewer's up in 2. The arrow's gonna nail him. He does have the skewer up. Azai's gonna go for the back line, tossing him into the Serpent Ward trap. He's gonna be shackled up though, and the Global Sounds will actually protect Infamous very nicely. Zai, though, is still gonna die from the tricks of the trade.
How did that go well for Infamous?
I think Secret just got a little bit greedy about it, but the Global Silence was honestly just perfect.
It was, and Whisper, I mean, he wasn't needing to bait there, but it works out for them in their favor.
Yeah.
6 to 7, most of the gold lead coming from the towers that they were able to grab early on. And Chris Luck during this entire time, one thing about Infamous that really stands out is one of their 2 cores is always farming.
Yes. And this game, it's going to be Hector, while Chris Luck is the one trying to move around the map, make plays, but he's going to get chains done here. Shouldn't be able to get off the smoke screen or the tricks of the trade. They're going to use the Echo Slam to make sure he has no chance of living.
They know that Stinger's in this area because of the ward. Mid one gonna run into him. This should be an easy kill. Stinger doesn't even have boots right now.
And the Chronosphere at the bottom lane as well, leading into the arrow, but Hector shows his face. They're not going to be able to get that kill. Back over the top lane where Stinger, I honestly just don't think there's a way for him to survive. No matter how much he jukes this, a Fissure and some Shadow Poisons is going to be enough. 6-9, Team Secret up by just a K.
Chronosphere, it's strong, of course, but without any damage items, when you go for this Midas build, you'll have levels. So you'll have level 2 Chrono, but you literally don't have any attack speed.
Yeah.
You need Maelstrom, you need Mjolnir.
That is something that did kind of strike me about Secret's lineup. They don't have the obvious big nukes to throw into the Chronosphere early. Later on, you know, if they start getting double Starstorm, they get the tree volley, then it's insane. But early on, you don't have the absolute greatest. Most of the time, it's just going to be set up for an arrow, maybe some Shadow Poisons.
Oftentimes, that'll be enough, and Infamous don't have that easy save. What this game, I think, will come down to is not really even the farm, but it's the initiation. If Secret take a good fight, they're the ones that started, they can just snap 1 or 2 heroes to begin with. I think that Infamous...
Oh, the long-range Hex managed to catch him. Another Serpent Wards. The Shackle's going out, the tricks, the trade, but it's just not going to last long enough unless... No, Nisha does manage to get the time walk away. They're going to still try and chase him down. Chris Luck thinking about it, but that time dilation slowing him down.
And that's 3 times that they've gone for it. Zai looking around the area, he does have a Blink Dagger. I do like how Schofield's using his wards just aggressively to grab kills. Doesn't really care about the cooldown very much. It doesn't even feel like they care about towers all that much. This top pressure is the first time we've really seen them try to do something about it.
Yeah, Hector's like, I guess with Manta, I'm finally strong enough that I'm not scared of any sort of solo kill. But even then, he's really not trying to push it too much. He could be there swinging at the tower. Instead, he's trying to hit neutrals, while most of Secret showing mid.
I think Secret have realized, as bad as we are at potentially taking fights or taking towers, Infamous is even worse right now.
Yes. That's why they're just been aggressively hunting for a lot of the game, a lot of 4-manning. The Moonlight Shadow is there going to try and get into the high ground. Puppey drops Sentry, but they've already jumped on Anisha. This is a fantastic kill. If they can get it with the Global Silence, it's going to be good enough. The Force Staff save is not there. Midwatch jumping forward with that Aghanim Scepter is going to be able to hit Schofield to finish him off with the Enchant Totem swing. Chris Luck looking for his opening, but Hector's in trouble. They need to be able to bail him out, but he does manage to get the Doppelganger into low ground. Sai wasn't able to catch him. A buyback from Schofield. They're going to try and chase down some of these heroes, and the buyback does result in at least 1 kill. Here's Puppey. His TP is going to get canceled. Whisper's going to use the RP to be able to grab Zai. He skewers him back into Stinger. They just want to make sure they have the damage, that Zai's not going to be able to get away to Blink Dagger, and they can give this kill to Hector as well. They gave it to Puppey. Oh, Stinger takes that last hit instead, but still, Infamous between taking away intelligence, between getting Hector these kills, he's now top net worth by a large lead, 10K.
Ooh, he's already hit that 10K mark in 18 minutes. And this is the dangerous part is, Hector will get his. Regardless of what the situation is, dying a top lane, Hector will get his, and maybe we finally see some sort of tower pressure. They do have the wards. And for a brief second, we saw Infamous finally take a gold lead. These guys, and they came to play today.
And the first Serpent Wards for a tower as well. It's always been used to try and get a kill, but mid tower being all important here.
Schofield gets the last hit, and finally, I'm okay with Stinger getting the kill because he needed boots. My man, 18 minutes in, just picked up a pair.
No.
If you conversely look at Puppey, I mean, he is a literal prince compared to Stinger. He's got 2 bracers and a magic wand.
Yeah, you said Puppey was going to be the poor one because he has to buy so many sentries, but somehow Stinger ends up even poorer.
Yeah, Stinger, his luxury item right now is that wind lace. Wow. But he's had to buy just as many sentries to combat the fact that Puppey's pot.
Die. Oh, he's going to find him. Schofield fast enough. He's going to be able to get the Hex before the blink. What a massive kill, and that's all thanks to that Observer Ward in lane. They saw Zai run through the lane, go into the trees, and they hunted him down as a result. So we're going to go back and take a look at that team fight. Schofield with the buyback here. because of that disable is able to stop Puppey from TPing out.
Bottom lane.
Oh, we go back into it. Is now with the global silence. Yaptor, he's done. They're going to look at Puppey as well. Tricks to the trade being used right as Nisha was hoping for the Chronosphere. Puppey, he's almost dead here, but they chant Totem jump in from mid one. Looking to be able to finish off Chris Luck, but he heals. He got the magic stick. Is that going to be enough? The smoke screen, he gets the swing. He gets
And the Chronosphere.
Chronosphere going out. Off Schofield as well, doesn't want to deal with those disables.
During that
and
time, look at
nobody
Hector
from
top.
Infamous is actually coming over here because Hector, he's trying to hit a tier 3 right now. Stinger's just buying him time. Go, Hector, go. I've got this.
2K gold lead still for Infamous because they took the tower. Secret, they've got to put pressure on this tower, but they feel a little bit worried because they don't have Chronosphere. They're just going to back up completely, let things go. They do get 3 kills, but it does cost them a tier 2 tower. They don't get a tower trade in return, but I think for Secret, they're happy about things.
Yeah.
Being even in a game like this against a team that wants to farm, you still have the better team fight, I feel like.
Yeah.
With Earthshaker, with Chronosphere, I think your ways of setting up team fight are easier anyways.
I'll agree with that if Infamous don't make a good fight happen in the next minute and a half.
Okay.
They did use Chronosphere. They did use Echo Slam. We still have RP up for
This would be a really
Magnus.
good time to smoke.
If anything, Infamous should go fight right now.
What Chris Luck did know is he was actually outside of the sentry range, and then he walked back into it. He was confused.
Yeah. You just never know what.
Oh, they did go for the smoke. All right, so this is what we wanted out of them because the timing of it works out so nicely.
Yep.
If you can get this kill, you will get a free Roche.
They know
you can
they
get
have
a core kill.
a solid 45 seconds until Echo and Chronosphere. They don't have global silence, but they have confidence.
No, they're...
Oh, okay. Maybe this is a cooler play. Instead of trying to force the fight with just off of an RP, trying to go
Trust
for
me, this is
Roshan
not going to
instead.
work. Secret is a wily team. Yapsor already fired the arrow into here. They've committed, though. And they saw the Serpent Wards pop Zai. Gonna blink in any second.
It's gonna throw in. What about the smoke screen though? They need that out in place to make sure. Oh, Chris Luck is actually gonna jump forward to make sure they can't actually get inside the pit. But Min1 and Isha, they're gonna come through the right. Drags them in. Schofield doesn't actually die. Yep, the dragon for the Whisper. He gets tossed up in the air straight on the Secret. But Hector, he's finished off Roshan now with the Aegis. He's gonna try and finish off this fight. Min1, he does have the Echo Slam. They have to be careful of it. He does manage to get that off and jumps away just in time before he's burned out of mana. Nisha now goes for the Chronosphere. He sees that Chris Luck is inside the pit and he should be able to swing him down. Hector, though, the global silence going off, surrounding Zai, who's burned out of mana, has no hope to be able to survive through this. Min1 lays out the Fisher for him, but Infamous feeling the fight. They got the Roshan. It worked for them.
A 3-for-2 trade and the buyback from Puppey. They did lose their mid Ricky, but they get the bigger objective, Hector, who grabs that Aegis, and he is so incredibly farmed. He has almost a heart. He's got a fully completed Manta and a Diffusal. We talked about how this hero could be a little bit slower in its build-up timing, because you're not looking for the 1 item timing, not even the 2, but you need 3 items on this hero to feel comfortable, and he's almost got it at the 23-minute mark.
Yeah, we're almost there, and that's where maybe some of the damage problems are going to come up, but Chronosphere may not be enough to finish off Hector anymore. Blitz, you said something I think that was really smart this morning. You were talking about the synergy between cores. You said you named a lot of teams that just had it. Mineski had it. You say Infamous has it between Chris Luck and Hector. What is that synergy?
I feel like they know where the other person wants to be. Part of being a good 1 and 2 combo, and I feel like that's what makes OG so potent. You saw it in the interview yesterday where Casey said, how do you feel about Ana coming back? He said, I love Ana. He's my favorite player ever. Is top. This is going to be a free kill for them. Nisha, a pretty big one at that.
This is massive. They need another smoke screen with a level 15 talent. He's got it.
And it feels like they know how to create space for each other. They always play on opposite ends of the map.
Yep.
It feels like Infamous, their 1 and 2 positions have an understanding of how they want to work.
Absolutely. You can see, oh, Hector, stop it. The captain of Team Secret giving dough behind his tier 3, but Zai does manage to make an entrance through the back. But he's just been skewered in into Hector. He's going to get burned out of his mana so quickly, but Min1, what an entrance from him with that enchant totem. Arrow sailing out the Magnus as well. He's finished off by a toss that comes out from Zai on the right-hand side. He's now been burned out of mana entirely, though. The Moonlight Shadow protecting the smoke screen, though, is enough to be able to finish off Yaptor and Zai. And Min1 will back away, giving up this tier 2 tower.
They did get some out of that as they forced 2 buybacks, 2 heroes dead, so this is going to be a 2 for 3, but they might just go and push this. Top lane is pushing at the same time. You see that Schofield's going for the play. He's hoping that nobody comes in, drops the wards. Tier 3 being assaulted on both sides of the map. Secret have to decide. They decide to go for Schofield, but this also means the bottom lane likely to lose its Tier 3. Secret, they're in shambles right now. They're not quite sure where to go.
Nisha has the Chronos Spear. He's going to need a beauty here to be able to help stop this push. Hector's actually going to jump forward, trying to get Puppy here for the avalanche. Surrounding him, he does have the extra life, though, and maybe that's why he's just so fearless right now. They do manage to get a smoke screen on Nisha, but Hector looking to be able to finish off Puppy. The Global Sound's going down right as the Enchant Totem swing. But Mid-One not able to finish off that Phantom Lancer. Hector's giving it away, but now the Chronosphere goes out. They're looking to be able to bring down this Phantom Lancer. He does have the Aegis, though. Stinger's going to die inside the Chrono as well. They use the arrow, though. Do they have the chain stun? He's going to be able to jump away instantly with the doppelganger. The RP inside of the tricks of the train. Mid-One trying to bail him out with the Echo Slam. He does it. He managed to finish off one. Chris Luck almost dead with the BKB. He can't get out. He's dead as well. Infamous drop 3. And Secret, they will manage to hold on to their melee barracks.
Took heavy damage at that top lane, but a great fight for them overall. They only lose the range racks. Secret, it feels like, comes online when they lose racks. Yes. Feels like they're okay with that idea as long as they're winning team fights. Nowadays, it does feel like if you're getting wiped repeatedly trying to take megas, it doesn't necessarily feel worth it. That's not a game-ending situation anymore.
Infamous just as easily in that situation could have taken the Tier 3 and backed up and gone shots.
Yes, but instead they decided to stick around. They felt their strength. It was just such an awkward fight because they don't have the vision advantage going up into that. And Secret, their veteran team, they understood that was a great fight for them to take.
You saw that fast blink from Schofield, dodging the Fisher at Mid-One. Here you could see how just far Hector dove in so deep, all the way into the Tier 4s to try and finish off that Shatter Demon.
This top move right now, Schofield's got Blink and Aether Lens. He's going to see Raptor. This should be a free kill for him. Hector's going to come in now. Ward's even dropped for this.
Despite the Force Staff and trying to contend with the Riki core, it's really the Shadow Shaman that has been Yapzor's worst enemy. Now look at that 82% win probability. Blitz, if you told me there was an 82% chance that Infamous would be bringing down Team Secret for a top 6 position before this international, I would have said that's absolutely crazy. But going into this series, it felt like a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, I think this is a straight coin flip, especially with how mortal Secret has looked in their last few series. This is not the dominant team that we saw. You can see the cracks. You can see they're not playing with that same bravado and confidence that we saw all throughout the year where they said, we're the best team in the world, come at us. But keep in mind, gold leads mean nothing to this team.
Yeah.
Counting them out or waxing poetic about how good Infamous is doing doesn't matter. We can talk about how good Mineski did. Maybe you'll say they outplayed Secret for 85% of the game, but when it mattered, Secret moved on.
Yes.
2-1, that's the only result anyone will care about. It doesn't matter that Infamous had a 3-4K gold lead with an Aegis. Secret can just bust out a win.
Yeah, believe me, you tell those Mineski players right now, hey, you guys did a great job. You outplayed Secret a lot of the game. It's not going to make them feel any better about the fact that in the end, they were out of the international. 19-20, 28 minutes in. Infamous only holding 1,000 gold lead. But specifically, Hector holds a 5,000 net worth lead over the second carry in the game. That's Nisha's Faceless Void.
I will say, though, having net worth on this Earthshaker is so important because Riki is, I think, the type of core that needs to continue to scale quite high. Whereas Earthshaker's damage as a core is really nice. It's really easy to get off because of the Acceptor. And even more so now that he's got this BKB, there's only one real way to control him up. That's the RP.
Fortunately, this Empower does allow the Riki. Most of the time, he has issues where he's not running around getting kills. He's a little slow at farming. The Empower actually helps him out quite a lot. He now gets his level 18 as a result.
And his biggest problem,
massive level as well,
is that you have to melee jump in and you don't have a disable as a core.
Yeah.
And you're really squishy. Yeah. You will die really quickly as this Riki. He's got good armor, but I mean, take a look. He's got a BKB, a lot of stat items, and only rocks 1,500 health.
Yeah, just one Echo Slam. One toss avalanche.
Hey, we saw him pop the BKB, and they just killed him.
Yep.
A 1,500 HP BKB does not feel good.
He's trying to get the Basher right now. I wonder if an Aghanim Scepter is in good consideration for him as well to be able to solve some of those issues. Just jump inside Whisper's Magnus.
Yeah, and look at this aggressive pickup from Team Secret. They grab the gem on the Earthshaker. Big fan of that. Feels like they're playing to win.
Yeah. Like, not just against the Riki, right? But when you're trapped inside your base, you know they're going to have aggressive vision. You need to take that vision away from them so you can reclaim your farming spots.
And 2K gold lead dips down to 1, hovering around that area. Relatively even game between both squads. If anything, I'd actually give Secret a little bit of an edge because of the amount of teamfight they can put out and how easy it is.
Yeah.
I actually feel like this Riki, every time I have seen him as a core, it feels a little bit underwhelming because of the way you have to fight.
Yeah.
And Schofield, you will die for daring to go for that arcane rune. That was a terrible idea.
Yeah. Mid-1 collects it for his bottle, and the Shadow Shaman has been a really big part of Infamous teamfight in Secret. They see that opportunity, a 4 position going down. That's an opportunity for them to take an objective.
And look at this. They instantly know about the ward drop by Stinger.
Yeah.
They're going to de-ward that. That'll alert both teams that they know about each other's presence. Hector going to come back. And Secret, after they grab this tower, they have to deal with that top lane, and that'll make it so that Schofield isn't pressured. Doesn't have the buyback anyways, but even if he did, because of this top push, it sort of just makes things even.
I really like this Boots of Travel for mid-1 as well, just allowing him to be able to deal with pushes like this, but still be able to join his team. I mean, he's like a great combination, right, of catch against this Phantom Lancer and the side lane pushes, but also he represents so much team fight. He can't be absent from his team. Hard up next, wins for the echo damage against an illusion hero. And it's going to feel pretty value. Magnus looking for the RP immediately onto him. The smoke screen going out, but they still have the damage. As a toss tree as well as, man, Nisha's just not really getting the bashes whatsoever.
They're just trying to kill
Skewer out there. It is going to be Stinger who goes down, but inside they have mid-1 trapped, and the shots, the jabs, and the tricks, and the trade. Now Chris Luck looks to be able to get out there, going to be able to chase down Puppy. Who else from Secret is going to get caught? Schofield, he's trying for it. He's got the Blink Dagger, he's got the Shackles. He can dodge the arrow, try and get the Hex off, even with the Lotus Orb. It doesn't matter, just stop Zai from being able to blink away, and he does it. Hector gets on top of him, and Nisha, look at him, he's just sitting on the high ground. He's going to try and go for Schofield right now. He does manage to get the arrow onto him, but immediately a smoke screen. Now it's Skewer back. No, Whisper gets stunned up by mid. He's not able to get that. The Echo Slam and the volley as well. They rain damage from above to be able to finish off most of Infamous. Mass buybacks coming out. They're trying to save Hector. Half health, Doppelganger away. Mid-1 jumps into him now. The RP. It doesn't hit mid-1, and that's so bad. He managed to get off the Visher, and that's done onto Hector. The arrow goes out as well. He nailed the volley. Zai with another fresh volley finished off. The support of Infamous and Team Secret, a long, drawn-out fight.
And Roshan is up. That looks so good for them to start. They got the kill on the Earthshaker. They recovered the gem, but they just went for a little bit too much. And that's that discipline that this team, it lacks at times. And Secret, I mean, they have that experience. They know how that fight's going to look if it goes on for long enough.
I mean, I just can't believe they didn't just leave Zai behind. Nisha opting to go back in with mid-1 buying back at the same time and TPing in. It turns the fight around humongously. Look at him. He jumps on to Whisper right as he was about to get the skewer into the smoke screen. And
that
then
was such a sick echo right there. If they get RP'd in that situation, Secret have just bought back and lost the game.
And this one too, the RP not, the skewer and the RP not catching mid-1. He gets a Fisher out, so there's no damage onto the two that get controlled.
And now they're going for the high ground, and this is why, in Secret, they don't care about the gold leads. All it takes them is one fight.
Yeah.
In these positions, Mineski learned that the hard way. This team is scary because they will find a way to win. It won't always look the prettiest,
but they always have. It's like the old EG where you always have the team fight. You always have the ability to win the late game.
Yeah, it just makes your early game look so weird, which is something I've been thinking about Secret for a while. It feels like they can't really play that mid-game tempo like they like to, but they'll hold the high ground great, and there will come a time where you will make a mistake against them, and you will falter.
Yeah, because it's so easy to misstep. It's so easy to get a little bit too aggressive and get countered by buybacks. Because no matter how strong you are, if it ends up being a 5 versus 10, you're just not going to win that. You're going to run out of damage. You're going to run out of cooldowns.
Yeah, that's why after we saw the win percentage, I thought it was actually in Secret's favor.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought it was like 70-30 them. I think that's what I said. And they're going to grab another kill here. Nisha, he has more than enough damage to kill Chris Luck. And this team, they're starting to fall apart a little bit.
I mean, at this point, Chris Luck just can't show himself anywhere around the map.
1,800 health with the BKB. That does not protect him.
And the 25% backtrack again for the Faceless Void. Nisha continues to run this. I think we saw him do it in the group stages.
It's pretty value against illusion-based heroes.
Yeah, for sure. Slowing down the damage.
It's even better than Butterfly because there's no way that you can deal with it. It's not evasion in that sense.
Yep. Zai. He's looking for an opening. His smoke is going to break, so he should know, or unless he thinks it's the tower. He thinks it's the tower.
Looked like he was walking in that area for a second, but does know Hector, for as farmed as he is, he needs a pretty big RP to set fights up for him. They just need their disables to be able to live. Schofield's ping for it right now. He wants his team to come in. Both teams actually know about this.
Yeah, but it's so hard. Oh, he managed to get the shackle on his eye. Here comes the arrow. The Fisher out as well, but he didn't blink anywhere. He does manage to get comboed off Whisper with the skewer backwards. Both BKBs going down. There's where the RP is with Global Silence on Anisha right now. Manta's up. He's going to jump for Schofield, and he does have that cheese, so he's going to be in fighting shape. But Hex he's trying to finish off the eye, and he does manage to get one, but mid one stuns him up. No, the BKB at Hector, he is able to doppelganger away. Chris Luck with his own BKB, who's trying to go for the backline. Does manage to get a bit of bash on mid one. Mid one, low on mana. Does have enough just to be able to make one jump away. Chris Luck really wants to hunt him down. He's got the blink cast range too. If he can actually just get the vision, that's going to be opted by Schofield. First to Hex, now the follow-up. Chris Luck with the smoke screen slowing him down. Nisha coming back in here to time dilation. Does have the Manta. Hector though wants to be able to burn him out of his mana as fast as possible. And Nisha has just enough to be able to time walk away, but Chris Luck's not going to let him get out. He managed to get the bash there, controlling him up, and it drinks the trade. The carry of Team Secret falls, and now maybe even a little bit more. Earthshaker still has that Aegis. What if they
for him,
caught
but
him?
he's far.
He is so far away. And Whisper, he would have to make a blind guess with a skewer, which he does just 2 seconds too late.
And that fight, it looked like it was going to be so good, but for once, Hector led the charge. He tanked up so much of that damage, and the ward placement by the Shaman, by Schofield, was sick there.
Yeah.
He made it so that both melee cores on the side of Secret were stuck. They were huddled up together, lined it up real nice and easy for the rest of his team to come in. And now it's Infamous that are playing aggressively. Maybe they want to force the buyback out of Nisha, but he'll have Chronosphere on that respawn, and they have Echo. It's not like they blew a lot of spells. Infamous, they've got to be careful.
Fisher first, no arrow. Hector has himself protected by illusions, and again, Hector's gonna go for it. He got punished last time, but he doesn't seem to care. Chris Luck, he gets hit by the enchant totem, avalanche out, but the BKB goes off first. He's gonna be able to get the bash on mid one, but he knows it's not worth committing for that hero. Mid one jumping in, immediately hexed up. Trying to get the silence as well. Hector wants to stay away from this guy as much as possible. Hector pops the BKB now. Mid one holds the Echo Slam. Now going to try and finish off Puppy. Puppy is going to be falling, but Schofield as well as Stinger both die inside the combo from side.
And mid one looks like he wants to chase, but not going to be able to do so. Completely burned out of mana. Zai clearing out some of these illusions, and that's the second range racks taken, but...
And you have to wonder, did Infamous... Did they just push their luck a little bit too much again because they don't have buyback on the Shadow Shaman?
And they know about that on the side of Secret. They weren't able to burn out the Aegis. Mid1 was never really able to get isolated out. He's way too tanky with the BKB and the Reaver. They'd have to get into a position where they're 1v5ing, just beating on him.
It's crazy how Hector keeps on just running past mid-1 and going for these heroes in the back line. And mid-1 is trying to chase him down, but...
Hector, if he stays for that one creep camp, he will die. They've got vision on him too. Whisper on this high ground, gonna blink out.
He's got to force it up as well, but he's not going to use it fast enough. The Chronosphere does manage to catch him. They get the control onto the Phantom Lancer. They're going to be able to get these silence, but they got him. BKB in the follow-up. The Echo Slam. It locks down the carry of Infamous, and it'll catch Whisper as well. They have a buyback.
He doesn't have buyback for 110.
They have a buyback on Hector, but it's only going to be the three of them defending against Secret. Once again, Secret's buyback. Secret holding the high ground. It's going to turn into an offensive position.
I'm starting to think that Secret is actually maybe the most exciting team in Dota right now. Because of their playstyle and the way that they force teams to fight around them, everyone just obliges, and you get into these weird situations where you just non-stop run at each other.
Chris Luck is going to try and get a fast kill onto this Tiny. Not so fast, though. Look how tanky Zai is. Tricks the trade, trying to burn him out. Doesn't manage to get a bash, though. Stays inside. He's down to half health. Zai trying to run away, but they're chasing so deep for this one. The BKB goes off for Chris Luck, but a force staff, and Zai, blink up, he's away.
That was the buyback from Hector. This is going to push the gold lead to 12K. Secret in a very strong position now.
That's what they wanted out of that. They can have their buyback on Nisha. He just needs some more gold. Same goes with Puppey and Mid One.
And the scary, weird part about Secret is when you're ahead of them, it never really feels like you're ahead of them.
Yeah.
And when you're behind them, it feels like you're going to lose the game.
And let's say this about Infamous, right? We know they don't have buyback. We know that Secret has buyback. Everybody knows that. But I still feel like Infamous is not going to slow down. They're not going to sit inside their base.
I mean, they went into a position at top lane, which was so ballsy, where they decided to go for a push.
I mean, look at Chris Luck.
Yeah, Chris Luck actually just went for that. If he has Chrono up, he pops BKB, you just die.
Yeah, you
Then
don't
the
have
game's
BKB
over.
on Chris Luck, so if there's any sort of avalanche or Fissure immediately...
Yeah, the fact that they went top against an Aegis, and there was a buyback on Nisha just to get that one Rax,
yeah,
that really felt like they were playing the wire there.
And that's the thing, is like, this is why we talk about Infamous and their playstyle being so cocky. It just seems like they don't really care who their opponent is. They think they're going to outplay them. They're playing in a position of inferiority. They're playing in a position where they don't have the buybacks. They're playing in a position where they could lose the game if they force a fight right now, but they're going to do it anyway.
And that's what you have to love about this team, is their commitment to just running at you and trying to win Dota.
They just hit the level 25 on Hector with the Doppelganger cooldown. It is so hard to lock this hero down, but Secret has so much control. It's going to be a battle of reflexes between the BKB, the Doppelgangers, Chris Luck, and Tricks and Trade. They're trying to find the angle, get into the high ground. Schofield managed to find his opening on a Puppey. The global silence immediately popped out. Benicia pops BKB, goes straight for the Shadow Shaman, does manage to get him as well as Hector. That's massive. They're going to be able to get the Enchant Totem follow up, chains on him out, but the BKB goes out the RB and locks them all down. Everyone, look at that hit. Which can they finish him off? The ankle save goes down, and Hector says, no! That's not my fight. I'm out of here. Stinger's dead. They're just going to try and chase down the rest. It's going to be Chris Luck who falls as well. Stinger and Chris Luck, they do have buyback, but Hector, he was the one who could not die there. He was the one without buyback, and he does manage to get out safely.
Oh, that fight, it looked like it was going to be okay for Infamous, but Secret, just too tanky. Mid one, 3,500 HP and a BKB. You're not taking down this hero easily.
I mean, is Hector, are they getting the Empower onto Hector? It just feels like when this RP comes down, he just doesn't do any damage to them.
No, I don't think he had. He definitely did.
He doppelgangers away. That's going to tear a lot, but
they just don't have the damage right now. Even with the awards with Ags. Secret, resilient again.
And this is what we talked about multiple times, and how to be able to play up against Infamous is to let them and all their aggression challenge you and put yourself into positions where you can counterplay. So whether that's being tanky enough to be able to take the fights, having early BKBs, playing on the high grounds. Because, you know, Infamous, once they get their heads into smoking and making a fight work, they're going to go for it anyway. That means Secret, after winning that fight, are going to be able to get the Roshan. That's Aegis, Cheese, and a Refresher Shard for Nisha. Do we have any other big level 25s that just got picked up? We have the Avalanche cooldown from Zai's Ti9, who has the Crystallis, soon to be Daedalus. So watch out for that tree volley, especially on top of the Chronosphere.
And there's a Hex on the App Store who has been an absolute fiend in this game. Another item, more Satanics coming out for Secret. Mid one's gonna grab one too.
Dude, there's so many instant disables, or like the disables that can come from outside of vision as well, with like Fissure and Avalanche. Infamous have to be like super trigger happy with the BKBs.
I love, by the way, how aggressive Mid one's been in this game.
Yeah.
We said he needed these kind of games. He had one yesterday. This sort of just builds on it. These are the kind of games that build your confidence. Rework yourself. Because I think even he would admit he feels like his performances are probably a little bit underwhelming. But the last two, I mean, he's coming in clutch. His team fight in these games have been insane. That one fight that probably determined a lot of how this game looks where he bought back, hits the 3-man echo.
Yep. Hit the echo, doesn't get hit by the RP. Like so many little things he did right in that.
Yes. He should be absolutely commended for that.
The smoke up from Team Secret. They're going to sweep through into the triangle here. They can catch anybody from Infamous. It would be massive. It's right as
Infamous probably have one more good fight in them left.
Stinger. He does have buyback, so he's going to be the one caught by the smoke rotation.
Gonna walk up this area. The rest of them, he could buy back, but he doesn't have a shrine to connect for the rest of the team. So it looks like the smoke just not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, Infamous are very likely just to pick up this bounty rune. Okay, they're baiting the bounty rune.
Yeah, they're trying to bait the bounty rune, hoping that one hero comes in. The idea behind it is that everybody goes. Secret feels like they have control of this area. They grab the bounty rune.
Yeah.
And they just send one hero to do so. But I think Secret, they're smart. Don't walk up into that area where you don't have vision. Just go into the high ground right now, and Secret will know that this was a trap.
What's a bounty rune really going to mean if you can go high ground and force a buyback out of Stinger right now? That just means the next fight, you just easily retreat and try. Oh, look at this fast play coming out from Schofield, trying to make a sneaky little Serpent Ward trap, but gets caught by mid one. And add another. Oh, now the Chronosphere coming out. Nisha's going to be left alone, but he's one-on-one against Chris Luck, who, at a loss for words, he was so far forward.
Yeah, the rest of his team got the message. They're like, let's hang back. And Chris Luck just decided, I'm going to step out. Dies almost instantly.
Okay, well, now there's another hero without buyback. Schofield and Chris Luck just dying back-to-back like that means Infamous left in a precarious position now. They do not have buyback due to gold on the Shadow Shaman. And same actually goes for the Riki. So, if anything, Secret are probably just going to be a little bit timid, thinking maybe there's going to be some buybacks coming in, but very rapidly they realize that this will be 2 lanes of barracks. They can't go for the Megas because of the tier 2 bottom. They have to be careful of Hector, though. He can certainly still do a lot. Nisha trying to heal up off the Satanic. Thankfully, you can heal off those illusions as well as the creeps that spawn. And he also still has an Aegis, so Team Secret.
So many different arrows being launched by YapzOr. He decided to go for the -5 second Sacred Arrow cooldown. He's just chucking those out, hoping that one lands.
Boot to travel now for Zai. They've got another hero that can deal with these side lane pushes. They do have buyback on Hector, so... Well, we'll see whether or not Hector wants to finish off his Scotty that he's trying to build right now. Is this game going to change anymore as we continue to go late? Because it seems like watching these fights and such, Team Secret, the ease of execution, the opportunities that they have with so many heroes having an impact in team fights, it seems like they're just going to hold an advantage for the rest of the game.
It's really hard to fight into them just because of the sheer amount of disabled that they come with. And this SD5, he continues to grow on my list.
Yeah.
He's such an effective hero. The disruption, it feels like one of those heroes, if you don't immediately kill him, he has so much impact in team fights. But he's not easy to immediately kill because he comes in with his own self-save mechanism.
Yeah.
And now that he's got the Ghost Scepter, they've got no real way to pop him. They don't have this magic damage burst. You don't want to have to all-in so hard for that 5 position. We saw that in the game where Vici played, if you recall.
Oh, they know. They know where Chris Luck is headed. They're going to drop sentries, seeing he's going to run blindly into the high ground. But Chris Luck has other ideas. He's going to push behind this tier 2 mid. Seeing if anybody's going to get caught while Hector pushes in that tower. And this is crazy because Secret, they're not actually just going to go for the Megas here. They're actually going to try and catch him from behind. That's going to start with Schofield falling. Now they're going to go into the trees. They're going to catch Stinger, who still holds his global silence. He does have a buyback if he can get the gold from him. The Enchant Totem after Enchant Totem, just scouring the area. Finally does manage to find him. A jump forward, a tree volley out, but Chris
YapzOr's on the hunt right now. He's got the right idea. He's going to run into him.
He just runs a little bit further up. He would have gotten the sight disable.
A quarter of an inch up. And he has him there, but throws out the arrow instead. Had the right idea, though, YapzOr.
I just can't believe the number of times that Infamous, when they're down on buybacks, they're willing to push out like this.
It's hilarious to me. It's like they always go for it.
Yeah.
And I think Secret is reading that. They're starting to... It's almost like, Prize Fighter. He understands the movement. He's starting to time things a little bit better, figure out the reach. they're getting used to the fact that Infamous is going to be in those positions.
Just like that bounding room read. That tree volley doing so much damage. What a terrifying ability this late into the game at 50 minutes. Hector trying to hold by himself right now while his two supports just need a little bit more time. 33,000 net worth lead for Team Secret right now. Over 20k experience as well, as they're all hitting their level 25s. Even Puppy is closing in on his. Meanwhile, Chris Luck, I mean, that's one of those 25 talents you really need, especially since he already has the Aghanim Scepter. If he could get the 300 Tricks of Trade AoE, it would add a lot to these fights.
Oh, Stinger, one more tree, but doesn't manage to nab him.
Hector having the balls to just push outside the base and farm.
But Secret is so good about disengaging. They're not giving them any sort of easy fights anymore.
No, they're not. Very small but passionate number of fans for Infamous. I'm sure back at home,
Dude, this
South
guy's
America,
so high.
there is a lot of fans screaming just like him. Cheering on Infamous. Them to be able to bring down the big dogs of Team Secret. But it just seems near impossible in this game with Secret holding such a large lead. That win probability that was once 82% in the favor of Infamous is now up to 94% for Team Secret.
Secret, Infamous just did something that gave them an additional 2%. I'm not really sure what Dota Plus thinks that is.
Uh-huh. Maybe it's just Boots of Travel. I can see Boots of Travel being it, right? Because that's the way you're able to like win a defensive fight and then go high, like TP in and go high ground real fast. Blitz just shrugs. Oh,
I don't know. It's just, I can tell you how players think. I don't know what AI is going to do.
Geez, Secret. They just are not going for the high ground push like I expected them to.
No, they're going to wait for this next
Roshan
rush.
is up, so
If you have this much map
surely
control,
with this.
why not?
Yeah.
You win this game, you're one away from being top 6.
And this is an Aghanim Scepter as well, so somebody can grab that. Probably the Void, I'm guessing, since he doesn't have any extra slots.
SD's pretty great too.
Yeah.
And Mirana's not bad either. We've got a lot of options here.
There's the Fisher out onto Schofield. Schofield again does manage to get the Hex out. Mid one, Serpent Wards are down the tree volley though, covering that area. Mid one fights underneath it. Hector still trying to chase down mid one with a BKB. He should be able to get away with the Chronosphere out. That Tricks of the Trade allows the Riki to be able to live through it all and manage to get the bash on Anisha as well. They need to finish off Anisha as best as they can underneath the Serpent Wards as well, but they just don't really seem to have the damage. Anisha, he's willing to fight both him and Whisper at the same time. Does manage to get the bash onto Whisper.
Hector's
Threatening the
in
RP,
there.
trying to go for it, but Chris Luck almost getting bashed to death. Does manage to jump away. Mid one, he tries to hunt him down with the Enchant Totem, instead turns back with an easier target of Stinger, who will fall and does not have buyback. Hector, he tried to go for the back line. He doesn't kill them, but he does manage to live. He does manage to make his way out of there. But
And Hector is 1v3, but Secret looking like Achilles out there. No one going down. Very easy fights for them. I mean, if your one position gets into a position where he's 1v3 and the rest of your team can't fight, it probably means that you're not winning that fight.
Yeah, I mean, because Nisha was also 1v3, except for he was almost getting kills. Nisha dropping off a ton of mangoes for himself. But he
It's so annoying
realizes,
playing against Mana Burn.
yeah. Time to... It's going to need a few seconds to consume all these. But if you just look at that chart, right, look at the blocks of red at the bottom of that network chart, and just the solitary greens. Destroyed a tower. Got a kill on Puppy. For the last 20 minutes of the game, Infamous had not been able to hold on to a single real victory in this game. Secret have just been dominating the map and dominating every fight.
And they still continue to hold the lead. It looks like they're just going to slow down the pace of the game. They're going for the absolute 100%.
Dude, at this point, like, are they just trying to test how much damage Tree Volley can do? He's trying to get a Battle Fury now. He's got Daedalus and Crystallis, and he's looking at a Battle Fury.
42K, the largest lead that we've personally seen in our casts at this TI.
Yeah, that might actually just be the biggest lead of the tournament as well. Nisha, he's going to pick up the Refresher Shard in his backpack. It is still on cooldown for 80 seconds, though. He also has not consumed the Moon Shard yet, so there's still a little room for growth for him. They're just going to keep throwing illusion after illusion of the Phantom Lancer to finish off this tier 3, while they also chuck out a bunch of arrows from Yapsor, just hoping that they get that one hit that they need to provide an opening in the team fight.
Feels like some sort of mini game where there's so much that they have to evade. The Tree Volley, the Marana arrow.
Chronospheres, the Enchant Totem jumps in. They're going to lead with the Chronosphere onto the mid lane. Chris Luck's in trouble, and they don't actually have a way to be able to save him, so he just dies like that. Nisha.
And not having a way to save against the Chronosphere feels so rough.
They're going to buy back almost immediately, and there's no need, because they have the Aghanim Scepter, Secret can chill out for 40 seconds here. They're going to have Chronosphere up. That'll also be about the time the Refresher Shard starts coming off cooldown as well.
It's scary when every single chrono means somebody dies, and they have no way to do anything about it.
Just no saves, because they opted for this Silencer as their 5 position. Secret being so confident, they keep on picking up all the bounty runes, grabbing power runes as well. You just never know where double damage is going to change the fate of this game. Look at this. I mean, they finish off the tier 3. These illusions have been chipping away at the range barracks as well. It'll get the Observer Ward that was laid out as well.
Yeah, Secret not taking any.
Oh, Jesus, Hector! You got to be careful at Tree Volley now. The arrow hits. This opportunity to be able to jump in with arrow. Nail got a Chris Luck. They have to blow the goal of silence here, especially for Schofield stuck inside the trees right now. Nisha beats him to a pulp. Inside the jungle, now drops the Chronosphere. Is going to go for the Riki, who does not have the buyback. Look at the Tree Volley, raining death from above, and now that's going to be Megas coming in for Team Secret. They still have a buyback on his Schofield. If Hector can actually finish up this kill on a mid one with Soul Catcher, it makes him a little skittish. He jumps away. This is going to be Infamous battling against Megas. They seem kind of okay with this idea. They're not trying to just throw their lives away to beat back Secret.
And they're just hoping for that one fight right now. Whisper still has the RP.
Oh, the RP does manage to get up with the force staff, gets him away. He was looking to be able to get the skewer into the fountain, but instead he dies. He's immediately going to buy back because Hector needs his help. He's going to be chain stunned down, though. Hector, can he jump away? A force staff, a doppelganger. He's a little bit farther, but the volley comes in once again. And Whisper, who just bought back, skewers back to the safety of the fountain.
GG.
But no buyback from Hector means there's no more damage left, even as Whisper finally gets that RP skewer. Look how tanky Secret is, and Infamous. They put up the good fight. They almost had a solid lead. They took 2 range barracks. They had an 82% win probability at one point, but Secret just continued to be that ultimate wall, that ultimate high ground defense. You think there's cracks, you think there's little openings, but there's always a trap. There's always the buybacks to turn things around.
Yeah, that one buyback play at Bottom River, that was so sick by Team Secret.
Yep.
The way that they baited, Puppy buys back first, puts them in a position they can't really recover, and that's going to be Infamous going down a game early. Looks like Nisha learned not smiling. She's going to walk back.
Trying to keep his calm, trying to keep his nerves.
It's only one game.
This series is not over again. Who knows what's going to happen in game 2? For that, we're going to turn to our panel.
Don't smile. That appears to be the secret. Nahaz, really quick, kind of what is your take of that first game now that we've seen these two teams go head-to-head?
Absolutely amazing. I think you saw everything that we talked about, from the strength of Infamous's early game to the ridiculous Dota that Secret played yesterday against Mineski. Mid one coming up huge now in 2 straight games for that team.
Neil, how do you feel about these two squads? What do you think Infamous's best hope is in this series?
I had originally criticized Infamous for being one of the least versatile teams in this tournament. Then they go out and pick a Ricky, who has not been selected at all in this entire tournament, and a
least we
Phantom
didn't see him.
Lancer. And I get it. We did see him, though, and he lost. And we also saw Phantom Lancer, a hero that's not particularly popular at this tournament, maybe rightfully so.
I mean, it does fit, though. If you think about it, it's weird, but if you were going to replace a Slark mid, Riki kind of fills that same role. You know, mobile, low HP core, but good laner, and then all of a sudden you're active on the map. And that's how Chris Luck likes to play. He wants to make things happen so that Hector has some time to get into the game.
Deny mechanic. We talked so much about the refraction and tidebringer changes where these two big mids no longer get their free denies. Backstep still works.
I also want to ask, why is this hero suddenly popping up more and more in the meta? Well, not so much yet, but we heard, not at this tournament, but we kind of heard from Gunnar. It's something that he was starting to see more leading up to the tournament. What is it that allows that to happen?
It's hard to say. I think it's just maybe the area control that Ariki provides. You've got the ability to just kind of dominate a certain area of the map while you can just kind of make plays with these very cheap items. You saw the double Wraith Band into upgraded boots, natural like drums and diffusal buyer. Like you can get 6-slotted really quickly, whereas other heroes take a lot more time, especially with a slower meta like Midas Radius and so.
Now, I know the other thing that you wanted to talk about, Kyle, was actually an engagement that went down in the Roche pit.
Yeah, of course. We wanted to educate some of our newer viewers here at TI and just go break down how a fight around Roche is theorized. The idea, you want to guard the pit, and you can see Infamous, they place their 3 sentries, the mag, sentries, of course, not being the ward, but the heroes. Boom. Arrow, Secret's completely aware this is happening now. They pop invis, they try and immediately engage towards the pit. Infamous, they've got all their damage inside. They're trying to rush it, and if you watch just about here, they do what you want to do to defend the pit. You keep your core in the crease, killing the Aegis, and immediately collapse. You want to take out this choke point, and you're going to see why in a second. The Secret heroes, they have terrain walking. The 2 cores, Void and Mag, they can come over the side. But unfortunately, the rest of the draft is stuck here. All their damage is happening in the river. PL's just cleared the Roshan, and now we can leap forward into the engagement. You can see the Echo is about to be forced by mid one. This is useless. This is a PL with Aegis. We don't care anymore about damage taken by this hero. Worst case, you respawn. Now the Chrono comes in. There's still 2 heroes here outside of the pit, nowhere close enough to help provide damage. The silence, not even necessary. But they clean up the Tiny, they secure the Aegis. Just a very well thought out fight from Infamous. And unfortunately, they weren't able to close it out, of course. But they do certainly understand the mechanics of defending this objective and denying choke points.
That was awesome. I just said that was actually awesome. We haven't gotten to do too many of those segments. You draw really fast. That was actually just really impressive. Thank you very much for that, Kyle. We have plenty of more stuff that's going to be coming up, though, right now. We actually want to throw it down to Casey. This one's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited about this one, too. So as you've seen from some of our interviews already, we always do a Media Days interview. We spend a lot of time with as many different members of as many different teams as we can, sitting down, getting serious, getting to the heart of what the last year has been like. But at the end, we like to lighten it up a little bit. So we ended this year of media interviews with what I like to call rapid fire. Show me what's on your phone. All right, rapid fire questions. What is the last text message you sent?
This is very personal. Why do you ask?
I feel violated here.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Well, yeah, I lost my shoes in Philippines. That was my last message. My Skechers. Fuck my life.
April 8th.
What? What's the last text message you sent?
Like heart smileys to my parents.
Good night, my love. And a couple, kissing hearts.
Was that to Misery?
Last text message. Probably not for a camera.
Can you paraphrase?
I texted my mom. I said, I love you. Today is the last day for my dog's medication. Cute little puppy.
Who is the last person you texted?
I texted a female.
A female?
Yeah.
Who was the last person you said I love you to?
Probably Zai.
Aww.
You know, mine's Yazid, actually.
My girlfriend.
My girlfriend?
My mom.
What are your most used emojis?
Oh, pigeon one, easily.
You in slacks.
Are you also pigeon?
Yes.
He's a smart guy, what can I say? Look at the WhatsApp pigeon, it looks so good.
That is terrifying. What about the heart emoji for your beautiful wife?
just heart is not enough.
You're both romantics.
Thank you.
Poop emoji.
The smirky face.
The whimper emoji. Emojis have names? I don't use emojis.
I'm sorry, what?
It's only for your eyes.
Kissy face, leg, poo emoji, eggplant.
Yeah, a raccoon is there too.
Pizza, pirate flag, pig, sheep, burger. Got it. Thanks for getting serious.
Thanks for asking such great questions. All right.
All right, so I kind of figured we would just be having fun with it, but I think we all learned a lot about these guys just from the emoji question, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that the emojis are really telling, and also who your last message is from. Like sometimes even when I'm on the panel, my mom will call me. I actually have my last message is from my dad actually right now. So thinking about giving him a quick call. Let me see. Yeah. Hey, Dad.
Hello, son?
Yeah. I'm at TI right now. I just wanted to give you a quick call.
Are we live on stream?
Yeah. You're live on stream right now.
I just wanted to say two things to all the fans. First off, thanks for welcoming my son into our community. And of course, second, shut up, Kyle.
What? We did not rehearse that part.
If mom gets to do it.
I did not approve that. It's once a tournament.
It took me like 5 minutes to get your attention earlier to help break me, to help me like cue into this segment, and you're just furiously scribbling on. That's what you were doing?
Yeah, that's what I was planning. But we were gonna gas you up. I actually wanted you to like jump in the call and be like, hey, like.
He's totally lying right now.
No, I did not tell you to say that. I did not tell you.
You told me to leave my phone in the green room.
Oh man, that's not true. That's not true. You know what is true?
What's true?
We're starting to see Secret fire on all cylinders potentially. If they're able to take down the series, how does the whole tournament look for them?
It's certainly a confidence booster, but this is a series they're supposed to win, right? I feel like most people have already counted Infamous out, and it's just that first game. I loved what I saw from their draft. We all thought from the first 4 picks, Secret was way ahead, and then they have this really cool concept, the Riki and the PL. If they had been able to do a bit better in the mid-game, I think they perhaps close it out. They were inside the Secret base for a while, but just didn't go their way.
I kind of want to bounce off something that we actually heard Blitz say during his last cast. He kind of brought up the idea that he thinks that Secret is the most exciting team to watch right now because of their play style. Neil, do you think that is something that we are seeing? Do you think that the way that they are actually going about their drafts, the way that they are enacting those drafts as well, do you think it's making for these really exciting games?
You tell me any other coach who's going to come out of that booth, get interviewed by KC, and say that his team's angry? No one else has been doing that, but Secret's doing it because they are angry. This is a series that they definitely think they should have had. They thought they should have had the last series, all the group stage series. Everything short of that is something that they are not satisfied with, and that's something that makes their draft so exciting because they need to keep throwing people off balance.
I want to comment. There was one other thing that Blitz said in that cast that I thought was really important. You asked me in our open, what do you think it takes to win TI? What are the characteristics of champions? Blitz said something during that cast. He said, with Secret right now, when they're playing this way, when you're ahead, you don't feel like you're really ahead. And when you're behind, you feel like they just win the game. That, to me, you look back at Wings, you look back at Liquid, you look back at OG last year. The great teams at this tournament, it feels like they have extra lives. It feels like no matter how the game goes, they're going to give themselves that chance to win. And I know everybody's down on Secret, choking at TI, whatever. They continue to play this way. They still got a shot.
Yeah. And Kyle, I think that you're a person that can really talk about this as well. This is obviously a play style where you start thinking of the word momentum. I think more so than a lot of people, like how big momentum can actually be up there on the main stage.
Oh, for sure. Well, unfortunately, I only know how it functions in the reverse, because usually if you start losing, it continues. But looking at the way that last game was played, I can't talk about PhD Dota like Alan can, but I think Infamous needs to go back to what they were playing earlier in the series. Kindergarten style, all right? I want Slarks. I want Wraith Kings. It's so difficult to execute at a high level. Yeah. Heroes like Silencer and Magnus and Riki and PL, it's like you don't really have a sense of the flow of the fight as you would with just, stun him again.
When you say kindergarten style, you're kind of going back to an idea that I think all of us have said on the panel before, which is just ease of execution. You're looking for something that they can put together and have that ease of execution. I also want to really quickly, before the teams do come out, I know that they are going to be getting ready right now. You know what? We all need to talk about it because the teams are already making their way to the stage. We're going to take a look. Let's see if this is going to be a 2-0 or if we'll make it all the way to game 3. And now the team's taking the stage. We already know that Secret's been able to pick up that early momentum. But the question is, are they going to be able to do it again? One of the ideas that I do want to talk about is stuff that's happening inside of their laning phase as well. I also do want to say, if you look at overall tournament momentum, yes, they're at the same spot. But I think if you are Infamous, you're definitely going to be feeling a little bit of extra wind in your sails.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's still Infamous with momentum.
True.
Secret, like, they won't be satisfied with anything but a win. Like, they're still trying to play catch-up after losing to EG in the upper bracket.
And Infamous has already set a record for their region. This is the best placement that the region has actually had at TI. But to get a little bit more insight as to what their goals are for this tournament, let's see what they had to say to Casey before TI even got started.
Schofield and Stinger of Infamous. Welcome.
Hola, gracias.
Hola, ¿cómo está ustedes?
Buenos.
You noticed the ages.
Ya, sí, estamos ansiando tenerlo así para el equipo, ¿no?
I want to start by asking you about Dota in South America because it is very popular, and I know that people watching Ti9 are going to be very proud to see you play, and I'm wondering how you feel about that.
Pues la gente en Sudamérica es como que bien apasionada por el juego, al menos en nuestro país, en Perú, hay bastantes cabinas y toda esa gente es que pues les gusta el juego al igual que nosotros y pues nos sentimos bien, ¿no? De representarlos y nos están apoyando mucho.
Ya, a ver, uno por otras cosas también que juego Dota es porque, ¿sabes? Por la gente, por los fans, o sea, me gusta representarlos.
How long have the two of you played together?
3 meses.
¿Solamente 3 meses?
2 meses, pero nos conocemos también antes. Estuvimos en el Infamous, que estuvo en el DPC del 2017 al 2018. Y ahí jugamos también como que unos 5 meses, más o menos.
No one on your team has experienced TI before. So, what do you expect?
Pues esperamos encontrar desafíos, un montón de emociones que nos vamos a encontrar aquí, estamos seguros. Y pues lo principal creo que es hemos venido a divertirnos.
There is some positives to coming into TI with no prior experience in a way. Do you feel like that enables you to just kind of play Dota and focus on your Dota and not worry so much about TI being this enormous thing?
Pues sí, ajá, lo vemos como que de esa manera, como que más divertirnos, ¿no? Jugando Dota, porque es lo que venimos haciendo y claro, una meta no es así clasificar al TI, lo conseguimos, estamos muy felices, pero sí, al final del día sigue siendo solo jugar Dota, ¿no? Entonces sí sentimos eso, ¿no? Creo que sí otros equipos tal vez tienen un prestigio que cuidar, ¿no? Tal vez un top al que llegar, pero nosotros nos sentimos más libres.
How do you think that the South American Dota 2 scene can grow?
Para que crezca la escena pro y yo creo que sería aumentar, no sé, los torneos para equipos tier 2, ¿no? De allá, para que los equipos se esfuercen más, para que haya más equipos.
But you can still win. Anything can happen at TI. You've earned your spot here before we start group stage as one of the top 18 teams. Are there any other players here that you're really excited to meet that you've maybe watched in previous TIs?
En personal, como que ya los he visto, ¿no? Antes, entonces sí es bueno verlos de nuevo, ver alguna especie de química que tienen otros equipos interesantes, como por ejemplo, no sé, a mí me gusta la vibra que tiene Liquid, por ejemplo.
O sea, yo cuando jugué Dota no conocía que había buenos jugadores, o sea, jugaba Dota y simplemente porque era un juego nada más y crecí jugando Dota sin saber, sin admirar a nadie, o sea, simplemente jugaba y ya, se puede decir. O sea, no es que desprecio, no son buenos, ¿no? Pero igual no lo veo eso, simplemente juego.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Buena suerte.
Gracias. No hay más preguntas.
Quiero más preguntas.
Now, we keep talking about the achievements that these guys already have at TI and what they've done for their region, but I think one of the other things we do need to look at is this is just flat out the youngest team we have in this tournament. You hear a little bit in the interview that they're saying, hey, look, like we didn't necessarily grow up idolizing certain players.
Yeah.
But I do want to, and Kyle, you're the one who can answer this the best because you've beaten some Alien Lane before.
That's true.
Now
he admitted it on the bus. Is that why?
It was like if you're in a moment like that, and you're playing against a player who has like all of these big moments, is that something that's going through your head? That's something that we do need to be thinking about as we start looking at these teams right now in the next game.
Infamous versus Team Secret. Game 2.
Team Secret have continued their lower bracket run, up 1-0 against Infamous, the South American hope. What are we expecting to see Infamous change up now that they're down a game?
I was listening to what Kyle said, and I mean, Wraith King.
Just go with the opposite,
first
right?
band. Yeah, kind of. I mean, Wraith King was first band, so you can't really go back to that. And that Slark, I don't think you can ninth pick a Slark into like having a 10th open pick, right? So
that happened. They did that once in the group stage. I think against RNG, they got 10th pick Shadow Fiended.
Yeah.
He got solo killed mid, and they lost in 14 minutes.
Exactly, and that's why I think a hero like Ricky, right? There's not. People just don't know how to counter it yet. I mean, they tried the Earthshaker, and actually Chris Lucky had a pretty good lane versus it. They went back and forth, so I like their draft. I think a few execution errors lost in that game.
So this is cool. They didn't ban the Ench, but they do a first pick on Secret.
Yep.
The expectation's very much that they would not give it to Infamous.
Yeah, there it is.
So Infamous is going to ban their own Ench to defend against the Team Secret Ench.
Yeah.
But all the other bans are the same. They're still trying to keep Infamous away from their core playstyle, this kind of core protect one.
Well, Secret basically get an extra ban since they have first pick, so they get to take out the Magnus. So now Infamous are going to have to dig one deeper since not just their 3 best heroes, but now their 4 best opening heroes have been taken away.
Yep. I almost feel like Infamous might be looking at something like a Shadow Demon because that denies a ton of Hector's heroes, I feel like. And if they have it themselves, obviously, then they can pick up this Lifesteal or this Sven kind of heroes he likes playing.
That hero just denies a lot of heroes right
really
now.
Does. All the carry melee. It feels like it really does.
Even like every strength hero, all these like Timbersaw, Bristlebacks, even Tiny, they lose 40% of their health no matter what.
Yeah.
And GodZ, you were the one talking about this hero like should be getting banned,
I think
but like where do you put it in? Like obviously they think, I mean, maybe instead of the Omni or something, but obviously you're scared.
I think Tiny, you don't know where it's going to go. The flexibility that they can run at mid, off lane, or even 4 position, it's just so hard to play against. And when he gets that Axe timing, Tree Volley is just an insane spell right now.
Yeah, even as a 4, we've seen how much we can do this tournament.
Yeah, you can still farm an Ag Scepter as a 4. These games are dragging. You're going to get your Blink into... You can just go Blink into Ags and then get the Echo Saber afterwards. There's so much room for this hero to get farm.
And there it is. I like it.
Another save, if you can get it during the toss combo. In the early game, it'll save a core.
Yeah.
A lot of damage for this Tiny. This Tiny's going to have like 3k HP at 20, 30 minutes in the game, and 40% of that's just gone at the start of the fight.
Do you want them to pick a core here? Do you think they will? Do you think possibly you go with your Hector hero paired up with that?
Yeah, usually they've been picking their Hector hero pretty early because his lane doesn't matter as much because he's just going to jungle anyway, like level 4. So give him a bad lane and make space for him.
Yeah, they play like Chris Luck. He'll usually have a good lane, right? He had I think most CS by 10 minutes in, and then after that, he doesn't even care. They'll just go over, and then Hector, that's when he starts farming. So I think we'll probably see that, unless there's like a Whisper hero they really like.
Is it really just like the Lifestealer that stands out as far as these heroes go? Oh, Whisper hero is going to be picked up.
Yeah, I think Lifestealer as well as Sven, we're both looking good here. I think they're both okay to pick up early, but they do go with the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, just some team fight, a good laner. I know we talked about this hero quite a bit recently about how some people don't really like it that much. Yeah. It gets picked a lot, and in some of the game it looks a little underwhelming. You have this like 25 talent that makes you really strong with 250 damage, so you can kind of scale into the late game, but it's kind of worrisome when you pick these 2 heroes that don't really have stuns.
Yeah.
Right, like Disruption's a soft stun, it's kind of a banish, and the Ravage is an ultimate, and you can't ultimate for every single solo pick off the game, right? So it's I think they're 5. If it's Shadow Demon, they need like a 4 or a mid that kind of has stuns so that they can continuously fight, because if they will only Ravage and fight around the Ravage, they're going to have Chrono every fight. And I think Chrono is a probably stronger skill than Ravage.
And I like this, the Void. I mean, they've been first phasing it a ton here, and honestly, a lot of people would be like, "Well, Tide versus Void, it's gonna be really bad." It's not that bad for Void. Like he'll get harassed a little bit, but once you get like level 5, you start taking that off. You're just gonna start like either creep skipping, whatever. It's not that bad. And now you have the team fight, and that's how Secret won last game, right? They had the overall better team fight.
Also, the Void can go into Silver Edge if he really feels the need for it. He's a natural Shadow Blade buyer.
It seems Secret just understand these are maybe two of the best cores right now in the game, because you go back, even the start of the group stage, you go back a few months, you'd almost very rarely see cores being picked up, multiple of them in that first stage. But that's what Secret are willing to do.
I know a lot more players are comfortable picking their heroes earlier in the game. It used to be, at least like for me and like I think a lot of other players, is they'd be really scared of getting countered. So it's like when I'd be picking my like an Ember Spear, I'd be like, oh, I don't want the other team to pick like a Nyx to counter me, right?
Yeah.
And someone told me, I think it was March, he basically said like, you're a core player. Why should we be really scared of these supports? You know, it's like they're just a support. You're a core. You're the bigger hero of the game. You have to overcome these, you know, like walls, these obstacles in your way to like win a Dota game. And sometimes your game's gonna be hard. There's gonna be counters, you know, hero counters, lane counters, you know.
There's always gonna be.
Yeah, no game's gonna be like perfect, right?
Yeah, and that's where, like, you know, playing all these pub games, which is what most of these pros do, can really help from mids, because, you know, you pick your hero up, you're often playing into those 10-pick counters.
That's why a lot of times even some mids, when they want to practice a hero, they'll just first pick it like 20 pubs in a row. I know like RTZ does it, CCNC will do it, at least from like, I know the NA region more, but they will like just take a hero, you know, like RTZ did with Arc Warden, for example. He just spam that hero, and he learned all the matchups. He learned what people would want to pick against it, all the you know, what people wouldn't really pick against it, what it would be really good against, good with, and you got to learn a lot of hero matchups because people would draft around it.
You got to sacrifice your MMR. Honestly, a lot of people say that, but like you might have to sacrifice to learn. Like if you want to be number 1 MMR, good for you. But if you want to be a pro player, you have to be willing to learn, as you say.
So they're going to take out a lot of those strong heroes right now in the second phase. They're kind of banning to protect their first phase. With Infamous, the AA ban, it helps against Tidehunter. You can't remove the debuff, the Ice Blast. So the Tidehunter gets a little squishy, and then from the team of Team Secret, they're taking out Naga and the Mirana, just like a strong 4 with the Shadow Demon. And
always scary.
Yeah. Naga also.
Have you seen him play it much? I haven't seen. I mean, I'm pretty sure Hector can always play it, but I have just not seen him play Naga.
I don't think they play it because I think it's not like his type of hero, right? Like he likes to be the one hitting creeps. Yeah. When you're having these illusions hitting creeps, that doesn't feel the same. You know?
It is just one of the best matchup counters to Void, though. Yeah. And I think that's probably what they understand is like, maybe he doesn't play it, but what if he does?
Yeah, you just get rooted and you can't jump away.
Yeah, and you're just, as a Void, it's so hard to ever find the real Naga. You just have illusions being thrown at you.
Annoying.
Even a song whenever you chrono, if you don't BKB early.
I mean, and we saw like early in the game when the PL had the diffusal, like this Void had a lot of trouble dealing with it. It's kind of the same with Naga. You get diffused, you're just dead, and you're just dead in the water. I do like the Elder Titan ban. Obviously, it's the same as AA. It's something that goes good into there. And oh, yes.
Bringing back some of the old school classic Void counters.
We are in a Whisper. He played a ton of this hero as well in the qualifiers.
So is this Skullfield?
I think
Shadowed. I think they ran a 5 Tide before.
I believe they have. And
Doom
you know,
Tide,
Rush level 1's not bad.
Yeah, Doom Tide as a 3-4 doesn't sound the greatest. So
it doesn't. I mean, they could obviously be a support Doom, but from what I've seen them playing, it's almost always Whisper Doom.
Puppy Witch Doctor picked him response. There's a 5 position just to secure that lane to help the Void out, I feel.
I think that's Team Secret watching the replays from yesterday. Their match against Mineski, Ninja Boogie played Witch Doctor against Azai Tide.
Yep.
And he completely ruined the Tide's game for the first 20 minutes. Yep. You can't remove Maledict. It's really good against these tanky heroes.
And it's damage inside the Chrono, which is always good. There's the Life Stealer. Yep, we figured they took the Shadow Demon. He's either picking that or Sven. Like, I didn't see them taking any other hero.
Hector classic. He likes going Midas. He likes going Radiance on the hero. Yep. He can go Howard as well, kind of help against the Void, force me to go MKB.
Get his casual Belt of Strength.
Yeah, just kind of hold in his inventory for 20 minutes.
Well, Secret probably looking for some damage inside the Chronosphere, I feel, with Yapstor's hero as well. They have got the Death Ward, but can't really go wrong with throwing in some more damage, or at least some follow-up to it.
Yeah, his Mirana and his Rubik are taken out, but the Enigma.
Wow. There's that late game team fight that Secret loves doing. We saw versus EG in that game too. You have the Enigma, you have the Chrono now. I mean, we didn't talk about, but the Tiny Ags is like almost an end-all be-all of the late game now.
Enigma versus both Tide and Lifesteal feels fantastic. The Doom is the maybe one here that can be annoying, but even that is still like a kind of low cost range. You can't just throw it immediately when you see that Enigma Black Hole come out.
So going to the tournament, a lot of more teams I think prioritized Enigma. Like in the past couple of months,
For sure.
they would kind of first ban it, first pick it, and the idea was that it would almost always win your offlane. You get 1 deny per wave. He also just is one of the best heroes to jungle with right now. But a lot of this meta, this tournament, has been the 4s are a little more free to roam. There's more like creep cutting for them, the 3, so the 4s have a little more open game, and now they can walk at this Enigma jungle.
And it might be a Xayah Enigma. That's what we saw yesterday. So who knows? Tiny. I think that's the thing. Tiny Enigma. They're both going to get farmed no matter what. That's just how Secret plays, and especially with these two heroes.
Lina ban. That's just kind of a stable mid. I think that if the Tiny's like a support or an offlane, that they can just throw a Lina on mid. He's going to do fine in whatever matchup. It's also really good against a lot of Chris Luck's heroes. The Ember, the Monkey, the Slark. This Lina is just going to stun you in the lane, hit you 6 times.
And I didn't see, but I assume Infamous chose last pick. I think for a team like them, getting that last pick for Chris Luck, like he is the most momentum-based mid player, feels like.
Well, which one of Chris Luck's heroes do you think they would like this game? It seems like a hard Slark game.
I think we still got to see Secrets, right? Because I think they're picking their hero last. Because if it is something like, what if they pick Kunkka? Sure, Slark it up. That's the thing. But what do you think Secret's going to pick first? Do you think they need more team fight, or you already have Enigma, Tiny, Void?
They probably need more lane push from their mid. Like the Lina ban would have been good if it wasn't. If they pick something like OD, it's like they're going to be really greedy. So I think they need like
less greedy.
Less greedy, more pushing lanes, a little sacrificial so that your Void and your Enigma can kind of, claw their way up the net worth.
I could see Secret taking a Sniper. In their 9th pick, they've been taking, or their last pick, they've been taking Sniper a lot when they don't see the enemy team's middle. And you have the Chrono, you have the Black Hole.
I'd be a little scared against the last pick.
True. I mean, who really counters Sniper in the lane? Like, what's his worst matchups, do you think?
That's true. He doesn't really have that many bad matchups these days.
Because you can sit back, you can even Shrapnel farm jungle. He loves farming the jungle. Midwin was farming it at like level 3 on the Earthshaker.
They're going to run the Tiny mid. Last pick, a bad. They get another hero that doesn't really care too much about the team fight spells, like the Ravage or whatever.
Could be a flex 2, 3 or 4 with the Enigma.
Yeah,
so open lanes.
I think it'll probably be a 4 Enigma and Xayah on that Abba.
Yeah.
You got tower push now as well, because they were actually kind of missing a little bit of it besides the Enigma.
It lanes really well against Lifestealer. You won't have open wounds for the chase, so if you ever get open wounds, your shield or removes it, you'll be able to walk away.
All right, you're the mid player, Gunner. You know it's going to be a Tiny mid, not much roaming potential. Who are you asking for?
I think I want something to help with my Lifestealer, to rotate around once he wants to infest. You don't really have good infest targets, because this Doom and this Tide are okay, but it's hard for them to feel comfortable only jumping the backline, right? They want to jump a core and Doom, and the Tide doesn't want to go in first. So something that's comfortable jumping the backline with the Lifestealer, like a Storm or an Ember type hero, I think is kind of them.
Hey,
it's the Storm.
Because I was going to be like, we don't see him play it that much, and here it is.
They need something that scales. They just had Lifestealer with Tide, Doom, and team fight heroes, but no damage, and that's where Storm gives them another late game option.
I like it. I'm not sure how confident he is on the hero. I think I've seen him play in pubs a fair decent amount, but I don't think he plays it this much this tournament. But it's the same style, right? People are playing it more early game than they used to. People used to go this Treads, Kaya, Bloodstone build, and now they go Treads, Kaya, and they fight with the Overload talent.
All right, well, that's the end of our Game 2 draft. We've got Sunbeat with Casey on the stage before we hop into Game 2.
Sunbeat, you've always been good at being really transparent with us. Last time I talked with you, I asked how the mood was, and you had just gone through a loss. You said you were angry. How's the team feeling right now?
I think we feel like we need to be cautious. I think it's an easy... it's easy to let go of the control because they're a very respectable team. They're the underdogs, so it's easy to. There's a pitfall. There's a mental pitfall, and I think we're being very cautious, and we want to try to respect them. We do respect them immensely. They've been bullying everyone else, so we want to make sure we do the things right.
All right, thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Yes, it is so important to be able to respect your opponents, as this is going to be quite the series that we have. You saw that Sunbeat respected the hell out of him.
Yeah.
He was very worried about that, and that's why we also saw the 45K gold lead.
Oh, yeah.
Where they just don't go for the high ground.
They just built it up more and more and more. You could see that Team Secret, they respect the hell out of Infamous, and they're not going to let them get an opportunity back into this game. We'll see if they can close out the series, though. 2-0, or we're going to tie it up going into Game 2. Secret versus Infamous, and they're going to go for their Lifestealer Storm Spirit. This is a combo blitz that we saw before. We casted one of their games at the group stage, and one of the interesting things about it, they just don't really seem to use the Infest Bomb a whole lot.
I'm gonna be real here. Hector is like the most one-purpose man I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've
never seen somebody that has just said to himself, you know what, I'm gonna use this Infest purely for farm. They did one Infest Bomb the entire game with a Storm Spirit. But anybody that picks Storm Lifestealer automatically goes up in my books. I will love you for doing it. Whenever I see Storm at a TI, it makes me happy, Cap.
I thought you said you wanted to see Storm lose.
Oh, no.
At a TI
I think he's certainly going to lose because he's bad. But
okay.
It still makes me happy.
Really pushing that narrative that Storm needs more buffs, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see how Infamous fares this time. I think Game 1's narrative was really interesting, right? That Secret did give up a lot of the mid-game to Infamous. Infamous, dominated that period of time, had that really high win probability, but Secret, they just had a style that seemed to clash really well against Infamous, which is just hold the high ground, wait for the one little mistake to be made, wait for one little mispositioning or initiation gone awry. We're going to see Zai, who does with the open wounds, going to be slowed down quite a bit here. Trying to get away. They have another gush in a second. Can they actually kill him?
Yeah, they've got him.
With the Aphotic Shield with a pullback.
What?
Level 1.
He went for pull level 1?
I mean, they want that first blood real badly, and thankfully Zai doesn't have Miscoil because he's just one hit away, and he's going to get the bounty red as well. Can they catch up to him? The Gush from Singer finally gets that kill.
Now you've got a level 1 pull Storm.
Yeah. Maybe that's the safe lane build, because that's what we're seeing is a safe lane Storm Spirit. We're going to have a mid lane Lifestealer for Hector up against mid one's Tiny.
I really like this Doom pick, by the way. I think it's really nice against the Void. I've been waiting for teams to pick something against the Void. You need either some way to disable him, or you need some sort of hard save. We saw what a hard save looks like in that game where Liquid had to play against that Tiny. Maybe not the best solution for the volley, but if you could run at this combination, keep you from getting chrono, maybe that's the way to deal with it. That's Infamous's hard read anyways, as they give it up again, Cap.
Yeah, they actually have the save from Shadow Demon. They've got the hard disable of the Doom. They've got the initiation and the burst potential of Storm Spirit plus Lifestealer. They seem to have every single answer you would want against a Faceless Void, but Secret do have answers in return. As we're going to see Puppy finally show himself in the bottom lane, trying to get some damage on Schofield, but he isn't scared.
You know what's funny? I think that Tree Volley is straight up one of the best things in the game right now, if not the best mechanic. And it's kind of wild because for a while everyone just thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
But the fact that it also applies the Echo Saber hits, it's such an easy way to fight. It just turns Tiny into some sort of range gyro.
Zai gets away into the trees. They're both going to pop their healing salves. Win for the early pickup of the Mist of Avernus. Now Schofield's in trouble as the bash comes out from Nisha. And he finishes them off before the disruption can go out, evening out the kill score.
So something interesting that we noticed about Secret, and the reason why I was so confident that they were going to end up winning that game despite what it looked like, is because I think they have this principle established now for TI. Normally what you do when you come to events like this is you think of an idea and you sort of hold strong to it. It seems like they're going for sort of that old EG TI5 style. Pick something that can go through BKBs, so you're always dangerous to go high ground against, and then just ride out the game, wait it out. Because I think Secret have been in so many mega creep situations, or having 2 racks up or 2 racks down, where it doesn't actually matter, that it doesn't feel like they want to commit for those racks anymore.
Yep.
And it doesn't really feel like they mind losing one set anymore either, as long as they can win the team fight at some point. As long as you're not getting straight up megged and held in your base, which is why when they were behind by 45k, or when they were up by 45k, they still weren't able to go high ground.
Yeah.
They said to themselves, this is the easiest way, especially with the XP change, for you to just straight up lose the game.
Zai picks up the early miscoil finally and does manage to get himself a deny. But yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about. They basically said to themselves, Infamous were in this position. They tried to go high ground too early.
And they lost.
Through the game. We're not going to do the same thing. And I feel like Secret's probably one of those teams who uses buybacks really well, and that's part of the reason they're able to make these sort of high ground defenses. Maybe a good read on what heroes can be sacrificed to force out an initiation. They're going to try and go for Zai again here. Chris Luck Gets a little bit more of a slow. The Anchor Smash is not quite enough. Zai is going to be able to get off the Aphotic Shield. Does have a Miscoil prepared, so if Stinger brings him low but doesn't actually finish him, Zai will get another deny. He's going to try and burrow his way through the trees. He's getting that slow regen up as well. Stinger, gush him once, hit him with the Anchor Smash. Aphotic Shield immediately comes out, and Zai should be fine now.
Still not having the ideal lane that he wants.
Certainly not. And not as it comes at the benefit of Yapzor, who's going to be playing that forward position Enigma. The body blocking here, they're really recommitting to killing Zai. The Aphotic Shield goes down, but there's the pull from Chris Luck. He's going to turn and try and actually kill Chris Luck in return, trying to get the deny, simultaneously going for the kill, but Zai misses both.
I'm not entirely sure how worth that is, because Yapzor just got like 2 waves under the tower and he's already level 3 with Arcane Boots.
And Yapzor is actually going to try and kill Chris Luck here. He does have Malefice.
He's going to hold it for the time being.
He's got the boots advantage as well, but Chris Luck is so tanky with the Ring of Bacillus.
Yeah, Storm naturally has quite a lot of armor to him. But I do think that's the principle that Secret is going to ride for this TI.
Yeah.
Hold high ground. Don't ever go for high ground yourself unless you're overwhelmingly ahead. And even then, they're playing it so cautious. They've got an SD on their team last game that enabled them to do that.
So let's talk about what Infamous needs to do to be able to break that kind of style. That very reserved bend, don't break is a term that you frequently use for these kind of styles, right? Just letting the enemy crash into you over and over again. And at some point in time,
Doom, you want it to be a finishing spell. It doesn't feel good to just use it to get somebody out of a team fight.
dude, look at this. Minwan's using his illusions to try and get more and more chip damage on this off-lane tower. Secret very clearly have this idea that this early tower damage matters. Nisha did it in the first game, and now we see Midwan do it as well.
It is going to push up the lane of Whisper, which is why Mid-1 wants to get aggressive here. Maybe even try to set something up. But Whisper going to pop this Scorched Earth, bring the creep wave back a little bit. And they're going to concede that first tower of the game.
Yeah, that 1-1-4 build. Max out tree throw. That is deadly.
Yeah. And what's so scary about this combo, the Spaceless Void Tiny combo, is you know at some point they'll get it off. And that's going to be sure death for anybody. Infamous this time around, though, they do have 2 things that I really felt like they needed. One is a way to deal with the Void, and 2 is some sort of hard save against the Tree Volley, which is the Shadow Demon.
Chronosphere, they killed Whisper before. They are going to be able to get back after Bash Nisha. What are these procs? Can the Schofield actually save him? He does have the disruption. One of the Maledict procs is actually going to be taken down, but he gets another bash. Nisha, this guy, he just keeps on bullying poor Whisper, and the luck is on his side.
3 levels of time lock, but nice rotation from Schofield. What I'd like to see is maybe even a rotation down towards that bottom lane with the Doom.
Okay.
Hector already has the Midas. Hector's game has been sick.
Well, he's going to need to return back to lane. The Paralyzing Cast doesn't bounce and hits the Lifestealer in time. Hector does manage to get up to that top lane and collect all that farm.
There's like this small contingent of Infamous fans that are just super hype, cheering them as they get into the booth.
And I love that too, because it makes me kind of feel, because I know there are so many fans watching online right now just cheering their hearts out for their team. This is the best that South America has ever done at a TI by a mile.
Oh, I'd love to see a Game 3. We've casted so many Infamous games that watching their journey and seeing how far they've been able to come,
it's been quite inspiring. But Secret, they're just mowing down towers right now. Mid One has made 2 different side lane rotations that have, in the end, resulted in towers falling. Now the team is going to join him in the mid lane, where Zai, with that early level of the Curse of Avernus, helps them chip away at it. And Infamous just not really capable of fighting yet, because they've got a 5-position Tidehunter, so no Ravage up yet. He's going to have to wait until the Tome spawns.
I think what they learned about last game,
zip in, they're going to be able to pull back into the mid lane, trying to go for Puppy, but Mid One with that Invis Root, he just be able to get the toss up, and Chris Luck, there's just not enough damage out from that toss combo with the maxed out tree throw. So
still surprised that he decided to go for that though.
Yeah.
That's not an easy kill with the amount of farm and levels that you have. For Infamous, I think they're being punished. What Secret learned, I think, about the last game was that they don't really defend towers early on because they have 2 greedy side lane cores.
Yep.
They've got Storm plus Lifestealer, and they've got Doom. It's hard for these heroes to fight without having farm first.
Oh, Chris Luck just blew so much of his mana. Mid One forced him to use that, and that's where Puppy strikes as he comes down from the high ground, catches them with the Paralyzing Cask, and Chris Luck does fall.
And Chris Luck, and you love that cockiness from him. It's sort of what gives him his strength, but
yeah,
at the same time, it'll cost him his life.
And it's costing him his net worth too. He is 2nd in CS, but he's down at 6th in net worth.
Yeah, even behind Yapsor.
Jump on a Hector. He does have the rage, but they do have the Black Hole in return with a Death Ward. All that physical damage and the hole through that magic immunity is good enough to get the kill. That is the top net worth hero in the game, falling.
He absolutely did not expect to die like that.
Now trying to chase down bottom lane Zai. Holding on to his skill point here, ready to level borrow time when needed. Nisha's going to show up, does have the Chronosphere, but he's going to try and get Stinger without using that big team fight ability. Looks like he's got him too. These bashes are just always on time. Chris Luck over the mid is actually going to be able to get the kill on a Mid One as the rotation comes out. Now can he chase
and
down Yapsor? The loser spray. Find him. He spots him. He has the mana, and he's going to be able to pull him back. Whisper. Don't need to use the Doom, my friend. Chris Luck is pulling all the heat right now.
Nice. And that aggression finally pays off for him. This is what they need out of Chris Luck. He needs to sort of go for that playstyle where he just doesn't care, runs in, tries to create space for Hector. This is what I meant by their 1 and 2 players have so much synergy. Hector already knows that he needs space. Chris Luck reads the same thing, says, I just have to go in. You can't play Storm like a 1 position, which I think a lot of people like to, but in a game like this, you have to front face for your other cores.
And in some of the group stage matches, it was Whisper who had to take on that role of just fearlessly diving in, like his off-lane Tusk game. That was the most suicidal Tusk I've ever seen, but he was just constantly trying to create that space. Here in the playoff games, it seems like they've been giving Whisper a little bit more scaling, a little bit better situations. And it's Chris Luck who's had to do all the diving. Stinger is going to throw out the Ravage. Does manage to nail 3, but he will fall to the Maledict here, trying to execute Puppy with the body shield plus Miscoil. That's too much heal. And all of that, Chris Luck trying to dive away with the Chronosphere. Does manage to catch him. They do have the disruption, though. But how much mana he doesn't have. He does have 11 magic wand charge. He's going to pop that now. 1 jump away, but he does have the Maledict on him. The Paralyzed bring it forward. He follows it, bounces over to Whisper as well, stunning him. And Chris Luck falls. Now the toss back in design, trying to get that silence up onto Whisper, who's slowed down so much. His face boots and drums just will not get him out of his hell that Secret is created in the mid lane.
And that tier 2 tower already gone. Secret taking advantage of the fact that Infamous, they want to push this potentially slower pace, not really allowing them to just set up, farm, and This is the fastest we've seen somebody try to play against Infamous. We talked about how Secret likes to go for the high ground, but
it's kind of crazy that they're doing it with slow heroes too. Enigma, Faceless Void. This Abaddon is another one. He usually just likes to sit in lane, but they're just grouping up early.
I think partially what it is. His 3 cores are even greedier in a way.
Yeah.
And they have no answer right now for this Enigma with Mac. What Infamous needs to do is push out the side lanes pretty. You can't allow Secret to just set up by tower, running you down.
You need another 60 seconds for the Ravage from Stinger. But honestly, there's just no more objectives to hold anymore. Just that bottom tier 2 is the only remaining outer tower for Infamous, and 14 minutes in the game. As a result, Team Secret have a 3,000 net worth lead. Stinger's gonna be gone on, paralyzing cast. Can he TP away? Gets out of vision of the Death Ward, but he's in trouble. He's not gonna go for the TP out.
He's gonna try to swim his way out.
That's a Blink Dagger now for mid one. All that team gold that they're going to get, that net worth advantage that Secret has right now, it's going to change in a hurry.
Yeah, I could definitely see Infamous still win team fights just because they have Ravage and Doom. If you line fights up and Secret get too over aggressive, you will win team fights.
Yeah.
The only thing they've got to be careful about on the side of Infamous is waiting a little bit too long and allowing Secret to take too much of the map over, because there will come a time where the net worth disadvantage is just a little bit too much and they've got too many items. So Infamous, I really like what they're doing. They're trying to make the best of a situation. Hector's still getting farmed, but you have to look for a fight at some point.
They're going to give up that last tower. Zai takes it cleanly with Midwan having his back, and they're all just sitting in the jungle right now waiting for their smoke opportunity.
Yeah,
they
here we go.
have Ravage.
This is something that they need to do. Just because you like fighting or farming doesn't mean you can entirely avoid the concept of fighting. You eventually have to make some sort of play around the map, and that's why they're all gathered up around here. Hector
Don't break
making
the
a
smoke.
real
On
aggressive
the tier
move.
2, they're going to go wrap all the way around. The Yapsor's going to get spotted now. Should be slowed down. The 3-man up the black hole. They need a disruption, but they know. Oh, now the Chronosphere actually lock another 3. Schofield, he's going to be caught here. Looks like he's going to be dying inside that Chronosphere. Yapsor with the mech is actually still staying alive. They throw out the Ravage, but it doesn't actually hit Yapsor. Is he getting out of here? The Maltic being used. Hector has a rage up in 1 second's time, but now all of Secret is here, and they just got to use everything they have to be able to retreat. Stinger's going to get caught inside the trees. Hector trying to get away, finally blows that Ravage to be able to dodge the avalanche back over to Stinger, who's going to fall. They just did not respect Yapsor's Enigma enough. They could have blown Doom. They could have used an earlier disruption. So many things could have been used there.
Problematic thing was that Schofield ran away from the fight, thinking they had him for sure, but he actually needed to be in position to disruption. If he's able to get that off, maybe that fight goes a lot cleaner, but it was the idea that he wanted to look for more after.
Hector with his Hanamitis and Infest. This is a guy who has a different idea about Lifestealer. He's going to be using his Infest to farm like 9 times out of 10. When he's not using it to farm, he's probably using it in team fights as an escape mechanism, not as an initiation tool.
Yeah, this guy is going to use this to never team fight. The way he's going to come back into this game is to use it to farm even more. And that's why Secret are going to take advantage of that. They know what Hector's about. They're going to go for the Roshan. And it's in fact going to be Infamous that now has to potentially learn how to hold high ground at this early state. They've been aggressive so
Whisper
far.
is just going to try and go in with a Scorched Earth. Chris Lock holding around. Mid one makes his jump in, though. He's going to be able to catch the Doom. Doom survives. Whisper can get off a Doom somewhere here, and he uses it on Nisha, but Nisha's plenty healthy, especially with the Phonic Shield on him. But Singer's here. No Ravage, but they will manage to execute. Yeah, the clap by Rose. They're going to jump back in. The clap for Roche on the Phonic Shield. Can they finish off Nisha? They need a little bit more than double damage. The final hit, he gets him. Whisper finishes him off. Now Stinger trying to hide from the Death Ward, but everyone from Infamous has thrown their lives into this fight to slow down Team Secret. It's gonna cost them 4 here. Schofield will take a little time, but eventually he does fall to Zai. That entire time, Hector was farming. He is so close to his Radiance, but Roshan is so close to dying in Team Secret.
Look at this. They know that he's used the Rage to farm Whisper in this area mid one. looking for more, but
they're gonna run into Whisper first. He's there to help guide Hector. The Radiance is on its way. They're so close to being really strong right now. If they could just stall out Secret for a little longer.
This would be sick if they could get the Aegis themselves. It's so low, just at about 2,000 HP. Infamous should know about this. They walked into the pit to see it. That's why Secret is still holding this area, but they don't have the black hole.
They now have the Ravage, but he needs to be able to get it off. Stinger, he will be able to get away from that initiation from mid-1 into the back line. Oh, the Chronosphere doesn't jump far enough. Chris Luck saved by the disruption, though. He'll be okay. Stinger limps away at just a little bit of HP mid-1. He's going to be gone off by Hector, being burned out by the Radiance, and on the high ground, Chris Luck is ready to make his reinitiation with Whisper, sandwiching him from behind.
This looks good for Infamous.
For time. Infamous, can they actually win this when the buybacks are coming in? Can they finish off these heroes before the paralyzing cast? Chris Luck jumps away again. He managed to get back, but they hold. They don't want to go into the tier 1s. They don't get too ahead of themselves. They know they forced so many buybacks out of Secret. They need to play a little bit scared. They're going to leave Schofield behind here.
Roshan, the bigger goal right now.
They know they're going
have
in for the Roshan. But can they actually get inside the pit? They've used so many abilities. Mid-1 chasing him away. Is Chris Luck going to do it?
He's going to
try and jump in.
3, 2, 1.
Empty slot. Nope, can't get it. He's going to try and jump in the last second. Jumps into the high ground using all of his mana, but Stinger will be caught here. Infamous. They managed to force so many buybacks out of that, but in the end, Secret was so strong with those buybacks that they guaranteed Roche.
That was not bad at all, though, from Infamous. No. They've demonstrated they can win team fights, especially when Secret. They don't have that black hole as a threat. And if you're put in a position where you have to solo Chrono the Storm Spirit, it makes it really easy for Schofield to get the save. Mid-1 did have to use the buyback. And Infamous only down 2k gold now. Their heroes are tanky, not easy to lock down, and you can see the seeds of how they can potentially win team fights.
Oh yeah, I mean, that fight was so close to really breaking Secret, and we talked about how if they do get broken, we're going to get Roshan for Infamous, we're going to turn that into towers, and all of a sudden, all this net worth that still is on the map, all these towers just represent little piggy banks that can be cracked open and giving gold to Infamous. That net worth is going to slide in their favor, and very rapidly, they could take full control of the game.
What an interesting meta where everyone just saves their buyback now. Even cores, because they know they're about to take that fight. Instead of buying out your Ogre Axe or anything like that, you know, they're just going to hold on, wait in case they take a fight.
Looking at Chris Luck right now, but Schofield's not too far away. They're trying to bait him.
Infamous's position in that team fight was perfect. The way that they were able to corral and wrap around. You got Chris Luck on the high ground, 2 people marching in from the side.
Saigon jumped. Not sure how much they want to commit to this hero that has to borrow time in from behind. They're going to go for Stinger, trying to force out the Ravage. They do manage to lock down him and Schofield, who's going for the disruption. Yapstor threatening the black hole from the low ground. Disruption out, but Schofield's still dead. All the cores of Infamous will be able to get out, it seems, is mid-1. Trying to chase him, has a blink up in a second, but I just don't think Avalanche and maybe a toss back. It's going to be close, but Hector just making sure the mid-1 doesn't feel comfortable going for it.
And we'll see what Secret ends up doing here. In the previous game, they were so cautious about trying to siege into the high ground.
They do have a very low siege wagon. They can finish that off rather easily. Looks like Secret can't go for it just yet.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to hold strong to that idea that they have about Dota. Just back out, continue to try to control the map. Don't have to go high ground until you get wiped.
Yeah. But with such elusive heroes like the Storm Spirit, it's hard to keep those side lanes pushed in. It's hard to deny that farm away from a hero like Storm. And I think they know he's forced a rotation. That's why Chris Luck's going to be able to TP down to bottom. Trying to finish off Puppey here. It's so close. The TP does not go
Nice
off.
infest.
Good infest range from Hector.
Thank you.
And he farms up yet again. This time it's a hero.
That was one of those convenient things.
Yeah.
I think he was loath to use that infest there.
Yeah. But it works. And now he is looking at an Assault Cuirass, or maybe, no, sorry, Heaven's Halberd. He's already got the Sanj. That would really help against this Faceless Void, who represents a lot of damage right now in these team fights because Nisha is so farmed with a full Mjolnir.
That's good damage right now, but Infamous don't have the best way to deal with this Abaddon core.
Yeah. See, the last time they tried to go for Zai, Zai wasn't scared. He's got the borrowed time. They don't have any way to break him and silence him.
And the illusions are so good in these positions.
Yeah.
Just chasing down poor old Schofield. Lets out a little frustration in the all chat wheel. 22-10, approaching the 25-minute marker here. Secret still holding that 3,000 net worth lead they've had for most of the game. But this entire time, Hector, the big carry of Infamous, the one everybody's been talking about, he's been getting bigger and bigger. He's now got Radiance, Halberd, and he's sitting inside an Ancient Granite Golem. That's so hard for Secret to deal with right away. Nisha's going to try and lay his physical damage into it. Schofield breaks the smoke of Yapzor. Yapzor is going to try and jump forward. Mid-one does manage to find the initiation first. Schofield dies. Whisper is now going to be chased down by Nisha. Singer positioning himself for the Ravage, ready to go. Holds onto it now. The Ravage actually not going to go off as he gets Chronosphered up. But Singer's also simultaneously not going to die until the last second. He finally gets it off. Controlling up some heroes, yes, but there is no fight to be had for Infamous.
Yeah, you saw the creep come in for a second, and then he just backs out completely. Hector sees that this is a sinking ship.
Look at
Chris left the
Chris
instant.
Glyph goes down. He tried to cut the creep wave. He does have a haste rune, so he's making the most of it.
He has to make this sort of play. I really like it. It's gutsy, but they're so far behind, and they can't take fights right now. And that's the scary part for them.
Yeah.
They just don't have the team fight at this point. So Chris Luck, you've got to buy time for the rest of your team.
I almost wish that Singer had held the Ravage. Because that fight was very clearly over.
Yes.
He, like the Chronosphere being used, if he's still on Ravage right now, Infamous could be the ones playing on the offensive.
Yeah, but by using the Ravage in that position, it makes it so you have to wait again.
Yeah.
And that's twice that's happened, where Stinger uses that Ravage reflexively, thinking that there's a team fight, and it ends any sort of counterplay that Infamous can make. Because right now, it should be Infamous. No Aegis. You would have Ravage and Doom up. You could get aggressive without Chronos.
But instead, it's Secret who aren't going to hold control of this game. Trying to hunt down Chris Luck, who's going to pop out. Mid-one spots him, Avalanche, but Chris Luck's faster. Does manage to get the jump away. Even if he's caught by the toss, he can still make a long enough jump. Yapzor almost intercepted him. Good thing that Chris Luck had the read to run into the trees with that ball lightning, rather than down the lane and try and like farm up some creeps or something. Look at this. Secret immediately moving into the mid lane. They're going to be able to catch Whisper, toss him straight up in the air instead of back to the supports. Whisper does have the Crimson Guard. He's super tanky here, but the Maledict's making him so much squishier, and he's going to take out. Now, the Black Hole being used on the Hector, immediately canceled, though, as a good disruption from the side. Got Schofield his life, but at least he's able to get Hector out of that engagement.
That's perfectly fine. Now you've traded the Shadow Demon for the cooldown of the Black Hole. That'll be worth it, and it coincides with the time that Ravage is going to come back up. Because Whisper didn't use Doom, he'll have that.
Yeah.
And this is the time I feel like you have to fight if you're Infamous. Now that there's no Black Hole, yes, there is Chrono, but you'll have Doom, you'll have Ravage. Hector, I guess you could wait for his AC, but timing-wise, it feels like this is one of the better times that they could fight. Plus, they have a DD on their Storm.
Let's see if they're able to make the hold here. The BKB is coming in for the Faceless Void. Nisha has it now, so very important that Whisper does manage to get the Doom off on him, or maybe Yapzor. But Yapzor doesn't have the Black Hole, so I suppose he doesn't really make up much of a threat.
No, not quite yet.
But Secret continuing that philosophy of gaining enough ground, not going high ground, just trying to control the map. The Assault Duras, man, that is not that far away for Hector. And he's willing to buy out. You were talking about how it's interesting this meta, so many of these teams are willing to hold buybacks for the opportunity to win a team fight.
Yeah.
Infamous is like one of the few teams that doesn't seem to do that. Even in the late game, they just seem to buy out all the time.
It's it's so endearing. Like that they're just willing to sort of treat it like a pub.
Yeah.
That's sort of what made them like my favorite team so far at this TI, because they just do things that no other team really does. Like where Hector refuses to use Infest to hop into any of his teammates to take fights. It just reminds you of like some core in your pub game. Like you're pinging him, and out of spite, he's using it to pop out of creeps.
Okay, so he's got Heaven's Halberd and the evasion talent now on the Lifestealer. He just got seriously strong, but Infamous cannot afford any more pickoffs, and Stinger is going to run headlong into mid-one. Tossed up in the air. It is still your 5 position. Even if it's Tidehunter, it's still your 5 position. This is space where Hector immediately TPs up to the top lane because he just saw everyone on the right-hand side of the map.
That's the funniest part about Infamous is they're more than willing to trade their supports for farm.
Yeah.
That is the real trap card that Infamous will always play. You might have caught Stinger, But now, Hector's farmed 18 more creeps.
He has.
And that's something that I wish people appreciated more, and I should probably push too, is that the supports do die for him. It's not like Hector gets the space out of nowhere. It is his supports, it is Chris Luck trying to make space for him, pushing out the waves very aggressively so that he can find the space to hit neutrals where he knows Secret is 4-man clumping.
Yeah, just watch what Chris Luck's going to do here. And Secret, they've been reading his timing pretty well. He's going to try and hit the tower, and he immediately gets caught by the Chronosphere.
He got read like a book.
He really did. What would you call it, a prize fighter? Being able to read the movements?
Yeah,
This is
Secret
exactly
is
Secret.
really determining the rhythm now of Infamous.
I mean, just being able to have a defensive ward like that near your mid tower where you're controlling all of the map, that says a lot about how much they know about Infamous and the way they move around, the respect they have for those plays. Soul Catcher makes mid one a little squishy here. He
That
backs
would've been
away
such a
thanks
good
to
fight.
Glimmer Cave.
If he was able to grab that sentry down a little bit quicker, maybe they get the purge on the mid one and they can grab that kill.
Secret finally going to go for the high ground push here, but there is a buyback on the Storm Spirit. So if Infamous can find the right kind of opening here. Hector, open wounds with an AC. It is so hard for them to actually challenge him, especially with a Soul Catcher. They don't feel comfortable fighting. And not finishing that tier 3, so they may go back for it here. It only needs 1 or 2 hits. But that'll be 15 seconds left on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, we'll see if Secret are correct in going for this high ground. So far in this tournament, they've been so loath to do it, but they grab the tower.
But are they going to get punished for it, Hector? It's not going to go forward. Tier 3. Oh, I like this a lot. Look at this with this fast smoke. Secret may try and hit a shrine or something on their way out.
One time for the boys. Hector, get into Chris Luck.
He will not.
Oh, he uses this to farm. Hector, don't do it.
You know he's doing it. Man, he's so strong right now with the AC too.
Yeah, but he has to be dealing some damage at some point. They need this net worth to lead to impact.
Yeah. About to.
All right. He's going to infest for those newts.
He kills
for
the
that
Siege Wagon.
I'm in for it.
And with that, he will be the first to cross over the 20,000 net worth line. He just doesn't seem to be scared of Nisha at all. Not scared of a Chronosphere. All these evasion talents and items.
I honestly love it. I'm going to start doing this in my games.
No, please don't. You're not Hector.
I'm not Hector?
You're not Hector. Hector's good enough to do this.
It just changes everything I know about Storm Lifestealer.
Yeah, dude.
That's really what it does. It just messes with my head. It's like Hector's got this flowchart in his head. It's
yeah.
Like anytime I'm not farming,
blood push.
Yeah, maybe this forces them back, but not without taking Roche first. And if Schofield buys back in this position, this would alert Secret to the fact that there is going to be a 5-on-5. But I don't know if you can give up this cheese if you're Infamous. That's going to be another like 6 to 8 minutes of just waiting.
Thinking about running into the pit, but it's too late. It's already dead. Hector actually coming in from behind here, trying to catch one of the supports. Pops the Lincolns on a Yapzor.
He's got to be careful. They have so many different ways to break
and
for
now
this.
with no rage, he's going to be in serious trouble. He needs to be able to get an defense target. Here comes the Storm Spirit, but no, he dies. He's controlled up.
And the cast bounces on him.
Spirit does manage to catch Stinger. They do manage to get Chris Luck out of there, but this is a disaster for Infamous. The toss forward of the Enigma to make sure that Whisper not get out alive. 3 dead on Infamous after a successful Roshan for Secret, and now's the time to break the high ground.
Didn't even have to use the black holder. Yapzor was able to hold it, and with 3 dead, Secret finally feel the relief. Are able to go high ground.
And that'll be at least 1 lane of barracks. We'll see if Hector's going to buy back. Storm is here. I have a feeling Infamous just has this read that Secret's... They can't actually beat them in a fight right now. So better just to not use this net worth. They're going to find the opening here onto Schofield. Disruption, time dilation, slowing down Schofield as well. Now he's going to buy back with Ravage going down on so many heroes, but instantly, look at that borrowed time, and the black hole! It's perfect, locking down the 2 cores! Hector, as well as Chris Luck, about to fall inside that black hole, and that's just it. Infamous. They're going to fall here as Zai, combined with Yapzor, the borrowed time into a Phonic Shield, and the black hole immediately afterwards, catching everybody. Infamous. They played one hell of
They're
a
just
tournament.
dancing with each other.
But it's looking like Secret. They're just going to go for the tier 4s here. So much time left on Infamous that it just seems impossible. Whisper, he's hoping he'll lure them into the Fountain if possible, dropping some items. Dancing around them. What a fun team to watch. What a charming team to watch. But sadly,
till the end, they'll do this.
Till the bitter end, they will drop their items, do their taunts, drop their sprays. Going for Puppy. Oh no, the Lincolns. And that's it. GG is called. Team Secret will 2-0 Infamous. The Cinderella story will end here against the DPC champs.
And that was Secret just hard reading them all around the map. They did such a good job of finally figuring out the timing of Infamous. So many other teams failed at doing so.
Yeah. I mean, we heard Sunbeat. They said that they really respected Infamous. They were knocking a lot of teams out of the tournament. You could see it in their play as well. The way that they prepped, studying Infamous. They knew exactly how Hector was going to be playing that Lifestealer, had a plan to combat it as much as possible, taking those early towers, pushing the tempo of the game, because they knew that Infamous is a dangerous team if they get in their element.
Let me say, now that they're out of the tournament, they were my favorite team to watch.
Yeah.
Easily. Me and Cap actually requested this game because we wanted to see if they could do it. Unfortunately, they weren't able to, but I feel like there's nothing for them to be ashamed of. Getting top 8, you outlasted half the field. This was incredible. This was one of the coolest stories that I've ever seen at a TI.
Indeed.
Oh, I love this team. I hope they get to stick together.
Hold your heads high, Infamous. You done a great job here at the International, but it's moves on, and as move on to the panel.